All right. Are we live? I think we're good. We're live, right? There we
Okay,
go.
so
Yo, what's going on? And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast, Project Eggroll. Hope you guys are having a good day. How's it going, Grae?
yeah, I'm good. Watched more woke stuff as usual.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Okay, so first and foremost, I didn't know how bad. Okay, speaking of books, yeah, we were able to watch what's it called again? Velma. And just based off of the trailers that I've seen and the stuff that I've heard over like the internet and stuff like that, I thought it wasn't going to be as bad as I thought, but it's
Mhm.
actually worse. It's actually way
Yeah,
worse than I anticipated. Did you feel the same, or is this just like, okay, it's bad, but it's not that bad? How do you feel about it?
yeah, it probably exactly the same as you like. Uh, I didn't think of it the trailer much. Maybe they were just trying to be edgy, just to catch people's attention in the
Mhm.
trailer, like before the. But yeah, they really went all in. Like they tried to tick all the check marks of being what constitutes as woke nowadays. Every single one of them, every single how they articulate, how they attack certain groups, especially white males for this case, and yeah, they really went all in on it. It's so bad that even some of these woke people are saying that it's too much.
Yeah,
You did bad if even they said it's bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, it's let's go. Let's just check out Rotten Tomatoes. All right, let's check out Rotten Tomatoes and check out Velma. Is it? There it is. Oh my god, there it is. So let me go ahead and uh share screen really quick. All right, so if the fact that you have 19 critics and saying that and is giving it 53, that means that this show is absolutely garbage, right? You have 7% from audience score, which have about 2,700 reviews, right? Let's go to top critic, 7 rated rotten, 6 rated fresh, all critics. So it's pretty damn bad. So if you go to it, yeah, in Entertainment Weekly, which is relatively left leaning in entertainment, and you have right, so you have that, and you have the Wrap, and you have CNN as well. So it's like, and Variety, Mashables, like all of these woke or left leaning, just like pro woke stuff. Like even saying that it's even if they're saying it's bad, that means it's pretty damn bad in my opinion. But man, let's go ahead and dive right into it, dude. Man, what was your initial thought and impressions on the first episode?
Already it thought in the very first scene they were already attacking people like let me see where's my notes. Okay. Yeah, first one of the first sentences of Vilma is, this is not a story about tall handsome boys struggling even though because they've been given more power. That's all right. That's one of the very first sentences. Or this is not about hot girls going crazy, and this is not about Fred and his weird sex van. So it's already setting the tone that yeah, we're gonna keep attacking the old fan base. Like, who even think? I mean, back when I was watching Scooby Doo, back when I
Mhm,
was in grade 1 or grade 2, elementary, like I didn't even think of them in this way. Not even in the slightest. Like, I didn't think Fred was a weird masculine moron or alpha male. And
mhm,
yeah, I mean, it's just a bunch of kids trying to solve a mystery, like trying to solve the culprit behind, like if a missing item of interest of value is missing, or somebody goes missing, or somebody gets murdered. I don't even remember someone getting murdered. It's just usually
mhm,
something gets stolen or something goes missing. So I don't know where this is coming from. It's like we're we're I don't know. It feels like it's the impression of the writers. Like, this entire series is dedicated for the writers themselves and literally no one else. It's like, I'm sure old fans don't think Scooby Doo that way. It's like, and I don't, and this is an IP that's so dates back that I don't think the new generation even knows what Scooby-Doo is or has even watched old Scooby-Doo's.
Mhm.
So yeah, already you're attacking the remaining fan or what's left of the old fan base, and they definitely cannot relate with already from the start. And it already then at the start, the very one of the very first scenes after that prologue is apparently two cockroaches mating. That
Wait,
was that's
it's just like, it's what's it called again? I do believe it was like Velma. It's like, oh, I hate this school is gross or whatever. I hate this school. And then you see two cockroaches comes out of the wall and he starts having sex. It's like, okay, so so it's just like it's funny is because like the comedy that comes out of it, since this is supposed to be for like young adults, right? Because there's blood, there is I would say like PG-13 type of dialogue and language, and it's basically like almost adult nudity, but you're just covering like the penis and the nipples, right? It's basically because the first scene is basically all the girls having they're inside the girls locker room showering,
Mhm.
and like the only thing that are covers are basically the parts are usually censored in like TV. So you already have you already have that, right? Just moving forward, but the sort of comedy that comes out of it, it's like of an it's like of a fourth grader. It's like a third grader, like a 10-year-old, and it's like, oh, what do little kids like? It's sort of like it feels like the writers and and the people who are in charge of the story and the jokes and stuff like that. I feel like they're like, what do kids like? And they're so detached from what actual like kids in high school actually talk about. They're like, well, what do little kids find funny? And they just put that shit in there. And the first like you said, the first cockroach thing having sex. Oh, won't be funny. Two bugs having sex. That'll be really funny, right? It's stupid.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and all yeah, in that shower scenes, like it's a bunch of females students like validating each other's like they were even trolling not actual people. They're even trolling us as critics. Like the only thing that makes a series good is actual good storytelling. They were kind of even trolling in that aspect.
Mhm.
There was there was conversation between Daphne and I think Krista. Krista, right? Right? Yeah, and I find it kind of strange that they're kind of promoting violence here. Like Daphne was suddenly put her on the floor, trying to push her on the water. What? Like
Yeah.
she's
So the reason why I'm not sure if you got this, but like the reason is it the reason why Velma sort of like broke into the female. Well, she didn't have to break into, but like she went into the females' locker room to try to like beat up Velma, was because she was sad that they're no longer friends or something. Oh, you're so pretty, and we used to be friends, so I'm gonna beat you up for it,
yeah
right? Like she came in with like a crowbar, right?
yeah exactly. It's like how is that acceptable behavior by any stretch of the imagination? And they're all just like chill about it when Vilma revealed
Yeah,
herself. It's
yeah.
I don't
It's
know. Already I got something was really off already at those two moments in times. Like how is this okay? How is this okay? Like hitting Daphne like that? That would have cost probably. Well, they make it seem like Daphne just got swept away, but if someone actually got hit by that thing, it'll cause really what do you call this? Potentially major injuries, right? So they're
yeah.
like kind of promoting violence here. Like it's an acceptable thing.
Yeah, it's I don't know what they are trying to what they are trying to like who is this show for, right?
Hmm.
And I don't think it's for and like you mentioned, I don't think it's for any of the previous fans. You know, uh it's it's more for like people who who are just mad that at it's like, oh, you're gonna get mad at this TV show. It's more for people who wants the fans of it to get mad. It's I think it's more for people like who wants the show to be what it is, and it's like if you don't like it, then and if you don't like the change, what we're changing up about it, then you you shouldn't watch it. It's like that type of people. Does it make sense?
Yeah, and for me, it's yeah, you're right there, but it's even worse for me. It's for me, it's not even that. It's yeah, it's meant to they know that people are gonna get old time fans are gonna get upset. But this one is it's not because they changed direction radically or they wanted a new approach. It's like it's
Hmm.
literally just to attack them.
Hmm.
That's what I feel like. It's literally just to brazenly mock people, mock the old fans. It's brazenly doing that. Not because it's not even like Rings of Power where they really just wanted a different direction where
Hmm.
even though the backlash was hostile, it's like they wanted a different approach, even though for the worst, right? Even though it's for the worst. This one
Hmm.
feels like they're really blatantly just wanna they're doing it for the sake of frustrating or upsetting the old fan base. That's what I feel like they're doing.
Yeah. So if you didn't know, Scooby Doo was created by Hanna Barbera 54 years ago,
Mhm.
and they before that they were working on Tom and Jerry, and Tom and Jerry is one of my all time favorite animated shows of all time, especially the
Mhm.
ones that came out in the Fred Quimby era, which is in the 50s. So after that, I believe after Hanna Barbera sort of like they weren't able to work with MGM anymore. Like sort of they started their own studio called Hanna Barbera Studios, and that's where they did like Flintstones, and of course Scooby Doo was amongst one of them. And the thing is that if you didn't know my background, I originally wanted to get into animation, right? So when I was in college and I was given the opportunity to do an intern at a small studio, I found out that I found out that the creator, or at least what's it called again, the creative director and the senior character designer were people who actually worked directly under Hanna Barbera. So
Oh.
the David Feast, which is one of the first people I was able to work with in when I was in the industry. He's a creative Cow and Chicken.
Oh,
So if
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, he's created Cow and Chicken, and Mark Perry, who's an amazing character designer. He was basically a character designer who worked alongside both David on Cow and Chicken. But they I remember David Feast telling me that how he actually got his job at Hanna-Barbera Studios was he just basically really loved drawing. It's sort of like back in the day where you can just walk into a studio, show them your stuff, and if they like you, they just hire you on the spot. So he was 17, and this was back in North Hollywood, it's literally across the street from Universal Studios Hollywood. And there's a building right now. It's an LA Fitness, but back then when Hanna Barbera was a studio, that location is where the studio is located. So he would walk in. He walked in one day, had his like a bunch of drawings that he did when he was a kid. He was 17. He showed it to Hanna Barbera, and they were old dudes at that time because this was like in the 80s, like early 80s, and showed his work to them, and they hired him on as an intern, and then it's sort of like HMB sort of took him under their wing, taught him how to like design characters, and then he became a creative director at Cartoon Network down the road. But it's like the thing is that they revered Hanna Barbera. They loved them. It's just like they're just legends of the time. It's just like Titan and Marvels of the industry. When you hear Hanna Barbera, you're like, oh yeah, I know who they are. Like they did so much stuff, right? And Scooby Doo was amongst one of them that got really popular. There are specific things and ways they wrote the character. I remember hearing a story about I forgot her name, but the original voice actor for Velma. So the whole trope of Velma dropping her glasses, that, oh, I can't see with my glasses.
Mhm. Yes.
That was actually an ad something they added it in sort of last minute, is because the person who voiced her actually wore glasses, and when she was in the voice booth for the first time, she looked down, her glasses fell, and she
Oh,
said,
I
"I dropped
see.
my
Okay.
glasses. Where's my glasses? I can't see with my glasses." And then HMB was like, "That's actually really funny. Let's actually put that shit in there." So that sort of became a thing. Now, I'm gonna sort of jump forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Velma is not even she doesn't even need glasses,
Mhm.
because when she was young, later on there's a scene was when she was young, she she never had any glasses, and the thing is that the glasses that she wore are her mom's glasses. So her mom somehow she's disappeared. So she finds the glasses and she puts it on, and then you can even see that she sort of adjusts her eyes to it, and maybe along the way she just continue wearing it because that's because she misses her mom, and that's the reason why she has the glasses. So the fact that the glasses is not like even a thing anymore, it's just her character design is just extremely just stupid writing, and they're just changing things up just to piss people off. And and I have a feeling they did this purposely. Everything they did is like especially you see that girl on the bottom. It's like, oh, at this time, that at a team rom com or dramedy or something like that, something that you watch on the CW, they'll be kissing right now. They'll be kissing, and knowing, of course, this is gonna like jump way ahead, knowing that Velma, they made Velma a lesbian. The case in point, that's what happens to her later on. Which is sort of like, okay, what? And oh man, it's such a shit show. It pisses me off as a person who loves Hanna-Barbera stuff, and as an animator, as a person who works in the creative industry, who knows people who worked with H&B. It just really pisses me off. You're literally just crapping on Hanna-Barbera's legacy right now, and it's sort of like you don't fucking care. And and I was talking to my wife earlier today. I was like, if I was gonna rank the 3 shittiest shows that I watched in the past 3 to 4 months, um, the first one, like in order of which one's the shittiest one from 3 to 1, number 3 was actually The Rings of Power.
Yeah.
I actually think that Rings of Power, even though they are trying to like what they're doing is not working. What they did is not working, but they're just sticking to their guns, putting characters in there, identity politics stuff, making Galadriel unlikable. But the thing is that you can tell they're trying to do something different, even though it's not working. Even though it's shitty, it's not working. At least it's not as bad as the following one, which is number 2, Witcher Blood Origin. That shit was just bad. Overall bad. Could it been could it have been a little bit better if what's it called again? The show had maybe an additional 4 more episodes? Maybe. We're not
Maybe.
sure. But it's just 4 episodes. None of the characters you really grew attached to, none of the characters you actually really like. Michelle Yeoh, even though I like her character the most, she was relatively like whatever, and it's a lot of
Yeah.
just terrible writing. Everything was rushed. I don't care about anyone. I just feel like the characters were the characters actually made up for the show, or were they? Do you know if they were actually like we do know some characters that are actually in the Witcher games, but
Yeah. Yeah.
are the
I
characters like the Lark, are they all actually a part of the series? Like are they a part of the game?
I wouldn't know because I didn't read the books, but my gut is
Mm.
telling me that they are. My gut is
Okay.
telling me that they're made up.
Yeah. So, and then this show is actually the worst one out of all of them. Like this one is
Yes.
like you're purposely
Mhm.
crapping on the fans. You're purposely, you're doing it, and
Exactly.
and you think it's funny, right?
Yes.
But hey, how's it going? Running of Scissors, how's it
And
going? Oh, that's we got a person in the chat. Hey, hope
yep.
you're having
Hello, hello.
a good night so far. But yeah, it's yeah, this shows the worst. Like it's and we're just scratching the surface of episode 1 so far. So
Yeah.
but yeah, this whole locker room scene is just like is like the opening scene to the whole thing. Like I don't know. I'll let you continue with like the synopsis. I know you have some notes, so I'll let you continue. Sorry.
Yeah. I actually have that exact same screenshot. Yours. It's exactly the same one. Yeah. So like, it's already they're setting it up like, yeah, it's gonna be a lesbian relationship. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But you're the way they set it up. It's that they're going for the identity politics bit. So yeah, my next screenshot is the break. What's this girl's name again? Brenda. Brenda loses her brain apparently. Like
Oh, yeah, she pops
yeah,
out of the freaking thing, right?
the locker. She's in the locker. She's in it's a little back. Yeah, a little bit more.
not here. It's
It's
like
oh, it's
right
hard.
here.
Yeah, it's a little teeny. Yeah, I mean, people probably know, people who watch this thing or even
Hmm.
bothered to watch it. Yeah, it's like I don't know. It
Right
feels
here. I think
so.
it's like right here.
Yeah. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, yeah. She falls out, and then boom.
And then boom, there's her brains.
Yeah,
Her brain is gone. Apparently, someone is
yeah,
stealing brains for some reason. Someone is trying to
yeah,
killing them and taking their brains. And I, they even make a joke about this bit. It's like you made fun of someone who's dead. It's like Brenda has no brains. It's supposedly an edgy joke that obviously was not funny. It's like, no, I mean literally, her brains are gone. It's like,
yeah.
it didn't. Yeah,
It's one of those jokes where it's um so I'm not sure how the culture is in terms of sort of like comedy is between us in the states and you in the Philippines, but majority of these girls in high school, the smart and the no not they're not technically smart, but the popular and pretty ones, right? In American trope in the popular and pretty ones, that the ones that get away with just on their looks and just because they're rich, majority of the time they're rich, majority of the time they're stupid, right? So that's why they're like, oh my gosh, she has no brain, right? So I like I'm not sure if that joke came across like in terms of like people who are like watching from out of state. Did that make sense?
uh, yeah, I get it. I get it.
Okay.
That used to be a thing back in my childhood days, but recently, not anymore. Not anymore. Not as much. At least not as much as, well, at least. Because yeah, I mean, my cousins are like in the elementaries. Like they're all pretty smart. Like at least for me, they're far smarter than what I was back then. So it's
So
not anymore.
according to what you were saying, that just based off your statement right there, is that this show is not for, not even for the comedy and the writing wise, is not even for elementary kids.
Y- Yeah, it's not. They're probably gonna shit on this hard. Because yeah, I mean, I considered at least the people, let's say in my elementary, or I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some of them actually learn how to code already, given how
Mhm,
accessible technology is and
mhm,
how much information they get compared to us back in the day, because we didn't have that technology then. Yeah,
mhm.
so it's kind of weird because this is an HBO Max TV series. So it's more like, it's more marketed towards the more mature audiences supposedly, and
Mhm.
they insert this kind of humor, which is kind of out of place in my opinion.
Yeah, and what's it called again? Is I'm not sure if this is the only animated show on HBO Max, because I know that a lot of there's not a lot of animated shows that are coming out right now on HBO Max. Like I think the one that I can remember was like the Harley Quinn TV show. I think that's the
E-
only one. I didn't watch it. I heard it's pretty good. But I had no idea that this like originally I thought this was on like some weird. I didn't think it was on HBO Max. I thought it was like on like some kind of like other streaming service. But it makes sense. This is Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers only has HBO. So it's sort of like, is it competing against anything else? It's because I did see a screenshot saying that it's like one of the highest like viewed or something like that. Like it has like very good numbers, highest rated. Like I don't know, it has very
you,
good
you mean
ratings.
this show, the show Velma?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that too. But in my opinion, it's usually just because it just came out. So like, and
Mhm,
it's a highly talked about topic on the internet. So it's pretty much a guarantee it'll get a top spot at least on its first few days. Kind of like Blood Origin. Like it it was there for like less than a week. It was number one
yeah,
for less than a week, but then it dropped right away. So it's like, it, you know, that people watch it to shit on it.
yeah,
We've got to the point that we already know it's gonna be crap. We just want to see how crappy it is. We just want to upload YouTube videos like what we're doing now. We just want to
yeah,
talk about it just to garner more viewership and stuff like that. That's how it goes nowadays for these shows. It's like, yeah, so I'm not surprised it made it to number one, but it won't be number one for long. Kind of like how
no,
Rings of Power did, kind of like how Blood Origin did. It's always gonna be the trend. Like
mhm,
I wouldn't be surprised if 2 weeks from now. it's gonna be The Last of Us, which hopefully it's gonna be more decent than this, which I
And that's
think it
also
will.
on HBO Max, right?
Yeah, since it's also
Okay.
made by HBO.
Well, oh man, well, we're just sort of like waiting, waiting for that show to come out, and the oh, man, it's just this show makes me hate the animation industry. And I've known what the animation industry has become. It's sort of how what it's evolved into, and it's sort of like what I feared. And we talked about it last week, how like a lot of people who are getting given the access to these properties, they majority of the time they're trying to input or insert themselves into said characters, insert their I don't know, their ideologies into the characters, and it like you said, like it made me really hate Velma, right? I'm not sure if Mindy Kaling is like that in real life, but like she was like extremely racist towards like Fred in this thing. Like she hates every straight
Yes.
white male, and it's just like she thinks that she's better than everyone. And the thing is, that I don't think Velma was ever like that
No,
in the original series,
no,
right?
not one bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It,
someone in the chat says I think it's funny that they kept Daphne as a redhead. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
They kept her. They kept her as a redhead, but
She's
they
Asian.
yeah, she's Asian. I think she's voiced by Constance Wu. So like they
Mhm.
made her Asian. Velma is Indian. And it's what's it called? They made Shaggy. They race swapped him to he's a black guy named Norval. They changed his name
Normal.
Norval. And
Normal.
I do have some things to say about what they did with quote unquote Shaggy slash Norval
Mhm.
later on, and same thing with what happens later on with Fred. And the it's it's such a terrible thing to do to such a an iconic and beloved character, right? Like I would say Velma was I actually I think a lot of people preferred Daphne over Velma, but for me, I liked Velma better. I don't know why. Maybe because she's thicker. I don't know. Could be the male brain in myself, but I always preferred Velma, especially with um what's it called again? Especially with what's it called again? The live action adaptations that were done by uh that was done by what's it called? Like, I think it was James Gunn that did it. If I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
really? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I like the live action adaptations. I thought they were good, but the thing is that like it's sort of like why couldn't they just make this show about like a just like another cartoon, right? Why can't
Yeah,
they just like
exactly.
make their own IP, right?
Yeah. Or I mean, for me, it's like if they had just stick to the old Scooby Doo formula on a modern setting, like tracking down the culprit using smartphones or today's technology, I think it would have gotten a really good viewership and reception. Like just
Yeah.
the old gang solving crime, finding the culprit, like in a modern setting. That's it. That would have been a home run. That would
Oh
have
yeah.
been. It would have done. This would have done great. Honest. Well, maybe not really high numbers, but it would have done decently. It would have done decently, in my opinion.
Yeah. I believe they have this what a new what's it called again? Scooby Doo cartoon that came out not long ago, and a lot of people sort of gave it shit. And it's sort of like, well, perhaps I judged too hardly on you, right?
On that
It's just
one,
like, yeah, just like, oh man, like it's I'm so sorry I judged you so harshly, right? Change Daphne's race is okay. Change Daphne's hair color unacceptable. Yeah, I would say to be honest, I don't really care about the race change and stuff like that, but there's some stuff that they did with Norville that's not okay, right? The Shaggy race swap is not, in my opinion, it's not okay, and we can just discuss upon that when we get to that character when he pops up. So yeah, so yeah, is it right here that they blame the murder on Fred?
not yet, not yet.
No, yeah, it's the interrogation scene, right?
Yeah, this interrogation scene is Vilma is a suspect by apparent. I didn't even notice. It didn't register to me that these two lesbian couple was Daphne's adopted parents. Apparently, like yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. Did they mention it already in the scene? Because I only realized or I found out later. Not yet. I just thought that these two were just like private investigators who are apparently
um,
not competent with their
I
job.
I believe they mentioned it somewhere, but like it's sort of like the original story. I don't think they ever even talked about like the character's parents. Like even
Yeah.
in a pup named Scooby Doo, right? A pup named Scooby Doo came out in like the early '90s, and it's more like they were all friends as kids already. And you have like they're all like kids, kid Shaggy, Scooby Doo, like puppy Scooby Doo and stuff like that, and all of them they're already friends. And I never really talked about the parents, and I guess it's like, oh, this is a good better time than any just to talk about the parents, and bring these two characters in. And I believe they're voiced by Wanda Sykes and Jane Lynch, which is they're lesbians in real life in Hollywood. So
Okay.
so it's just okay, sure. But this is just like, yeah, so right here she they sort of like says that you're a suspect, right? Since you're there trying to like attack. And the thing is that, like, yeah, she was there trying to attack if
Yeah. Exactly.
you're the parents, you're just trying to beat up your daughter. You're not saying anything.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like that's already like coming in with a crowbar hitting students. That's already enough for a major apprehension in the academy. It's like
Mhm.
they're treating it like it's nothing for some reason.
Yep.
Like just
And-
because Vilma's the main character or because she's a person of color, even though white is a color, it's like uh it's okay, it's fine. It's like we just suspect you, then we're gonna let you off the hook. You have 1 day to investigate this. Like,
yeah.
I mean, she's a high school kid. Like, why are you giving her the reins to investigate this thing? You guys are supposedly accredited officers. So why are you why are you letting a high school kid do the work for you? And if
Yeah.
he if she doesn't, yeah, in 24 hours, if she doesn't provide results, that's the time you put her into custody. Shouldn't she
Nah,
be in custody right now
yeah,
because of what happened?
she should have been in jail, like at least for like a day, is because
Yeah.
like like here's the thing, it's called an assault with a deadly weapon, right? So like
Mhm.
a crowbar, you can assault someone with it, you can kill someone with it. So you should be at least be in jail, right? And the thing is that maybe like the only way that I can see like maybe she has like a misdemeanor is because she's underage. She's like what, 16, 17
Oh
here,
yeah, yeah. That's
right?
probably to make it lighter, to make the
Yeah. So we have the scene, right? And then you have the uh like, yo, here, help us out and stuff like that, since you used to be a what's it called again, a detective. You did a lot of detective work when you were a kid. And they also show that like how, yeah, it's like, oh, you used to be friends of my daughter, what happened, right?
Mhm.
So she's trying to bring up like, yeah, you guys used to be friends. And then she also mentioned she basically re- resents Daphne because like she sort of blossomed and became like a pretty character,
Mhm.
right? Right. So she became a pretty character, and then like like, and she started hanging out with popular kids, and they sort of left her behind. So that's the reason why I'm like, I don't I want to beat you up, and I don't want to be friends with you anymore. That's how I see it. And just based off that as writing, it's just like it's such bad writing.
Mhm.
It's just really bad writing, and it's just like you're literally dismantling the character that everyone grew up to love. And I don't know. I don't know, man. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
There we go.
yeah, and then you have this scene, right? So you have this scene here. Let's see, let's go back 10 seconds. There you go. Yeah. So, I guess, so she, yeah, so she leaves the precinct, and like she leaves the police department, and then she bumps into him, right? Is it
Yeah,
so?
yeah.
Yes.
She bumps into him. She bumps into him.
Okay. So she bumps into him, and what's it called again? Was Fred like texting the girl that was dead?
No, he was just on his phone. That's it. The point
Okay.
was he wasn't paying attention. He was just on his phone. Then yeah, Vilma ran into him. It's like, oh. Fred, hi. Then Fred was like, yeah, they made the white guy really stupid, really douchebaggy, really incapable of doing anything. So surprised there, and he's like, oh yeah, who are you? It's like, then Vilma's like, I'm the girl you were hitting because you were you thought I was Mexican in the Spanish class. I don't know what that means, but yeah, the point is he was hitting on her for the moment, then he just forgot about her right at the moment.
Yeah,
Then
I think right off the bat, like when you know, just put it into black and white. If 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 you were to misidentify a person as like a different race, misrace them, right? Um, it's because because Fred has to be the straight white male who's racist and sexist and bigoted, right? So it's just like the person that everyone originally liked this because he was the leader, right? He was the
mhm.
leader of the of the squad, and he drove the mystery machine. And but in this show, he's just basically a person who's like extremely racist. So he's like, oh, because you have dark brown skin, so you're probably Mexican. So it's just it's sort of like trying to make him be like the racist guy. So it's right off the bat making him unlikable, destroying his characterization in the original show. So it's just it,
Yeah.
it sucks, man. So yeah, so then he goes on ahead, and then like I think he
Yeah, that's where he finds out that Bi- what's the girl's name again? Such Bianca. The girl. That's where he finds out that she's dead. It's
yeah,
because Daphne told him.
yeah, so you have that, and he tells him that, oh, he's dead. And I guess like there's this part over here where like they hug or something like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then like I guess he sort of gets like an erection, but he has to like stop his erection because like they've been dating for like a year or something.
A year, yeah.
Yeah.
And Daphne already wants to, do it. Then Fred felt like she was making the move, but like, oh no, stop, we're not gonna do it.
Yeah. And it's yeah, so you have so it's just like no, she's no one's really paying attention to her. And then what's it called again? And then you have this scene here
Mm,
where it's like
yeah.
this weird like ghost like creepy monster that comes out. And then he said, okay, cool, I'm gonna go home now. And then she goes home and he talks to her dad, right? And what what do you have on your notes? Like, am I jumping ahead?
No, you're right. It's just that yeah, the noteworthy part in this scene is like, yeah, introduction to Vilma's dad. His name is Aman.
Mhm,
Like already since he's a male, you already know they're gonna shoot him down. It's like, Dad, you're not supposed to just eat the fries right there frozen, right? That's what they're
mhm,
implying. Like the dad's too stupid to like put it in the oven and have it cooked first. So it's like you already know he's gonna be another Fred, another Fred, but except this
mhm,
is Vilma's dad. Then yeah, it's like I'll just like I'll do what I want. Then he shoot he dodges the situation. Then he goes after Vilma, like,
mhm,
yo, you're in trouble. You're a suspect for the murder of Brenda. My note says Brenda. The girl's name's Brenda.
mhm,
Then yeah, then Vilma's like, no, I'm not guilty. I'm not guilty. Then I can see why I'm being implicated though. Then after that, the dad gets even more flack because if I'm not mistaken, it's not that long ago where the mom disappeared, or she may have left. She may have left the family.
I think it might have
Because
been like maybe a couple, like I think she's been missing for like maybe like a year or two. I'm not 100% sure. It's
oh,
yeah, like it's just like yeah, her yeah, like her mom's been missing for a little bit, and she blames herself for it, right?
it,
Like,
at yeah, at first it was implied that she got missing, but then
mhm,
later on it was setting in that she also partly blames herself. So we're not sure yet. It's not yet confirmed. Then yeah,
mhm.
I'm not sure about the bit where they added the waitress, the pregnant waitress. Apparently
Oh yeah,
already.
he I guess like once so yeah, they're already painting the dad in such a terrible light, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
okay, yeah, let's
There.
just
Yeah.
this
There we
part,
go.
right? So the dad, like once the mom went missing, he immediately like knocked up like the waitress, right?
Hmm.
Immediately just knocks her up. So just saying that he's just a terrible person, terrible father, and he's just a straight male who doesn't really care about his surroundings and stuff like that, and all he cares about is himself. And yeah, so I guess like she owns like the diner, like the popular diner that everyone goes to. I believe I believe that's it, right? Right.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the next scene is like they have a funeral for her, for
Mm.
the girl that died,
Hmm.
right? So yeah, they have a funeral, and man, to be honest, I don't. It's so forgetful. I don't even know what the hell happens here.
This one is they were even shitting on that character. It's like
Mhm.
they used I'm not sure with YouTube's new terms of service, but like they keep using the S word here. It's like she may be an S, but she's an S who didn't deserve to die and stuff like that. It's like they were kind of shitting on her too. They were
Oh
kind of
yeah,
shitting on this
I'd
character.
probably call it's probably the word slut.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like I don't know. It's like they were trying to be funny again, but again, it's humor for I don't know. For I don't know for who.
Yes,
Maybe
it
6 year.
seems like it's humor for like little kids. It's
Yeah.
like it's so it's like the humor that's like back in the 90s, I would say, right? Right. I feel like that the show is meant to be for mature kids, that like maybe kids that are in like 14, 16-year old, but the writing, it's so bad. It's like it feels like like whoever did this, like Minnie Kaling's like type of comedy. It's like back in like the 1990s or like the early 2000s. That's how I feel. Yeah, someone in chat says all those great animated shows that were canceled and deleted off the faces of the earth, yet the shows get greenlit. Talented animators were wasted on Minnie Kaling's self-insert. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the thing is that I actually know the one of the animators that worked on this show. Like I actually know one person. I actually know I know him. I worked with him at a small studio that I used to work for. But like now he works at Warner Brothers, and it sucks is because like these animators and these artists, like may it be like the art style, like I think the art style is fine, the animation is fine,
Yeah.
but it just like it sucks that like the show that you work on, it just it's just terrible and has a
Yeah.
terrible message
Yeah.
for kids
Yeah.
and stuff.
Truth be told, I actually like the animation and the art style of this. It's just that it's riddled with really, really crap content that it kind of diminishes their work.
Hmm.
That,
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
have you heard about do you used to watch Thundercats?
I've seen a few of it if I run to it on TV, but I don't really watch it as diligently like as Scooby Doo back in the day.
Yeah, OG Thundercats, right? Like the ones that was in the 80s. It's like I grew up watching cartoons in the morning. Watching on Cartoon Network, may it be Tom and Jerry, Magilla Gorilla, like Flintstones, Jetsons, Scooby Doo, and I do watch what's it called again, Thundercats, and it's just Thundercats was one of the shows I really really enjoyed. And then I think in 2000, like in like 2010 or something like that, they tried to reboot it with a newer animation style. I heard the story sucked, but the animation was really really good, and I just didn't do well. And it was at the time point in time where action cartoons were sort of phasing out. And it's sort of like when you saw like Young Justice came in, you're like, oh, Young Justice is so badass. Ben 10 was getting really really popular, right? And I was an intern for Ben 10. So, but what show that killed the entire like action cartoon genre? Do you know which show that killed the genre?
No.
Adventure Time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Adventure Time was originally on Nickelodeon, and I guess it didn't do well on Nickelodeon, so they moved it to Cartoon Network, and then Cartoon Network, like it sort of got really really popular. So ever
Oh, okay.
since ever since ever since was Adventure Time came out, all the action what's it called again, animated TV shows were all canceled, and then everything is gonna move forward. That's why like you saw Teen Titans Go, which I do like. Don't get me wrong. I like of course I like the original Teen Titans. I do like that one. Teen Titans Go is based off of comedy, and then you got all of these comedy shows, there's funny comedy stuff that just came out with like funny dialogues and like good animation and character designs here and there. But it's and then I believe in 2017, 2016, I forgot when, or 2018. They're gonna reboot. They were rebooting Thundercats, and there's this show called Thundercats Roar, and it's literally them shitting the first episode, shitting on the original fans. Thundercats was so fucking awesome and revered as one of those things. It's sort of like I wouldn't say I would say it's like 10 years after He-Man came out, right? I would say it's about maybe like 5 to 10 years after He-Man came out. And I remember when the first trailer came out, and I was like, wait, what the fuck happened? Like why does this look like this is drawn for like little babies? It looks like, let me actually bring up do you know how Thundercats Roar look like?
I don't remember because it's been a while.
Okay, so let me
you can show the old ones, the old one and the new one.
let me all right, so let me show you a let me share this. Let me go ahead and share this screen really quick. So this one right here is 1985 Thundercats, and this is Thundercats Roar in 2019. And we're like, what happened? Right? And it's sort of like, of course, you have like the character designs and the animation was done in Japan. That's why it looks really, really sick in the OG. When this one came out, I'm like, holy shit, this thing is awful. Right? And the thing is that I have a friend who was working on a show called Wacky Races, and it was and they're basically in the same bungalow, like neighboring bungalow as Thundercats Roar. And when he would go to lunch, he would literally say, I fucking hate Thundercat fans. And then he was like, he's just listening, right? It's like, I fucking hate these people on Twitter complaining about Thundercats. Just like grow the fuck up and like stop complaining and shit like that. They were getting extremely butthurt. And he's like, what the fuck is happening? Like, and then of course, like the first episode that comes out, I think it has like 1 or 2 episodes. Like I didn't even know when this actually went live. So when one episode came out, and like I guess like he was watching TV, like this Lion-O, the one on the left was watching TV, and then the Lion-O from the right pops out, and they're basically shitting on the fans of the past. It's the thing is like, oh, it's not for you. This is not for you. This is for new fans. This is for new fans. And of course, what happened to the show? It fucking got canceled. It's like, it's like why it's literally dead on arrival. It has so many like I saw the intro and animation. Animation was good. Animation's really good. It's really fluid, really solid. The art style sucks, right?
Yeah.
The art style sucks a lot. And like, what is this? Like you have something like this.
Yeah.
And then you have this. You're like, what's going? And the crappy thing is, this is I blame this on Adventure Time, and I blame this on people who went to Cal Arts, which is Cal Arts is a school that it's like started by Steve Jobs and people from Disney. So it's like very very popular. What's it called again? God, who's the guy that did Nightmare Before Christmas? I forgot his name already.
Oh,
God,
no, I wouldn't know either.
So God, Tim Burton.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So Tim Burton came from Cal Arts. So like a lot of these big animation people came from Cal Arts, and like John Lasseter came from Cal Arts. So, and then you have this coming out from Cal Arts, right? Like if you look at the character designs, they're like lazy. Lazy. It's just like who cares? And you like, it's just like it sucks. And then now you go back to Scooby Doo, All right, you go back to the Scooby Doo stuff, and you're just like, yeah, they actually don't give a shit. They talk. They're just gonna talk shit about the original fans. They're gonna talk shit about it because it's not supposed to be for you anymore. It's for a new
Hmm.
generation. And the thing is that that's what I hate about big companies inheriting these famous IPs. Maybe it's Lord of the Rings, Marvel, DC, or whatever it is, or Star Wars. They have the great thing about it, and like I mentioned this before, is you have a built-in audience, right? You have a built-in audience of about 5 decades, right? 5 decades worth of built-in audience that people who love these characters, maybe it's like, oh yeah, oh yeah, I remember Daphne used to be like this. Oh, I remember Velma and Fred used to be like this. And then when you watch it as an adult, maybe you're in your 60s, right? Or maybe you're like you're 60 years old. Scooby Doo is 54. You're six. You watch it when you're 6. You're 60 right now. You watch it's like, what the fuck's happening in the cartoon? It's
Hmm.
like, why are they talking shit about me? You know? And the thing is that, oh, this is not for you. This is for younger kids, right? But younger kids have no money. Young kids have no money. And the people who do love these OG like IPs and stuff like that, maybe it's Transformer or whatever, they're the one who has money right now. The kids that are watching it who are in like in high school, like or high school, or maybe even in like middle school, they don't have any money. So why are you gearing this towards them? It's 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 such a shitty thing, right? Yeah, I know the Thundercats reboot you're talking about. It wasn't bad at all. It was actually good, and the show promised a promise of getting better at Cartoon Network. It didn't advertise well, and so it tanked in the ratings. Oh god, Thundercats War was basically a Teen Titans Go, but somehow worse. It was just nothing, and it had awful art style. I hate when people reboot a series with dedicated old school franchise who can piss on these fans yet somehow want them to still stay around and support it. We're changing things for the modern audiences, the same modern audiences that never seem to actually support anything unless they can bitch on about Twitter. The Velma show writing feels like a Mindy Kaling's personal experiences and personal opinions about people in society in general. So I agree with what people are saying in chat.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
it's like built-in audiences, sure, great, but why would you want to shit on us? We're the one who have the money right now, right? And that's the reason why I didn't watch the show on HBO Max, because I don't want to give them a dollar, right?
Yeah,
I don't,
exactly.
but there are people who do already have HBO Max because they're watching The Last of Us next week or something like that, and
Hmm.
they're like, let's go ahead and just watch it. And there are people who hate watch it, right? So like we're one of those people
Yeah,
who
we're one of
hate
those
watching it.
for
But
content on the channel.
yeah, but with running with scissors stuff, Mindy Kaling's personal experience and then personal
Yeah,
opinions. I do agree with that.
agreed,
Like
agreed for sure.
maybe it. I would say Mindy Kaling. I would say is probably one of the first like Indian uh Indian actresses that was in Hollywood that was on a really popular show, right? And then
Yeah.
she also became a writer and a producer on The Office. So
Oh, she
she
did.
probably
Okay.
yeah. So I had like I think The Office came out in like mid 2000s. I didn't actually watch it until like
Yeah,
probably 2010, like 5 years
I
later.
think I should. I haven't went through that. I went through Friends, but I
Mhm.
haven't been to The Office. But I know The Office is really really good too.
Yeah, the Office is good. I think once Michael Scott left, it was sort of like it sort of the show sort of went downhill a little bit, but overall the show's enjoyable. And what's it called again? It's but like I think she was like a co-producer, and it was it's just I think she self-inserted her characters. Maybe it's like she felt like it was really hard for her, maybe as an Indian person being in Hollywood. So now that I people know who I am. I'm a writer. I have money. I'm gonna make I'm gonna become an executive producer of the show, and I'm gonna self-insert myself as this character that everyone loves, and I'm just gonna bash everything that I hate, right? And it's
Yeah,
sort of like
yeah,
it's you're not even doing it in a sort of subtle way too. You're just straight out just coming out being such a hateful person. It's just
yeah,
it sucks. And the thing is that like I tried watching a show just with Mindy Kaling as the main character. It's called the Mindy Project, where she's like a nurse or a doctor. I couldn't get past the first episode. It was so awful. So once I knew that she was going to be sort of in charge of the show, I was like, this show is going to suck. Even before I saw any trailers, is because I'm just like, I don't like any of her writing, right? Because in The Office, I'm pretty sure she had co-writers, right? Like people who were
For
writing with
sure,
her
for sure.
to make it good. But for this show, it's just like, oh, she's executive producer, so she oversees everything. So I'm just gonna, I'm the main character. I'm doing, I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Yeah. So she kind of rode the reputation of The Office. So her fame kind of rose because of the reception of The Office. But
Absolutely.
when she became separated from that, that's when everything came out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. She just wrote herself and her life in Scooby-Doo. She made the show for her and not for Scooby-Doo fans. Absolutely. Never seen The Office. The only things I know from her is an awful TV show, so I don't give a fuck about her. I'd be willing to bet this show got greenlit because Warner Brothers was too scared to cancel it because Mindy is a person of color, a woman person of color who I could see calling WB sexist and racist. Absolutely. I believe she's, she already said all of these things, right? Like she's like, oh, if like it's really hard being an Indian woman in Hollywood and getting parts and movies and stuff like that, and it's this is not how you do it, right? If you want things to sort of like, oh, we actually judge you incorrectly and stuff like that, like you prove us wrong, but you come up with garbage like this, no one's gonna fucking love, and you're just crapping on this existing IPs and stuff like that. It's gonna suck. All right. Now we can actually talk about it since we got an introduction. So over here, I believe she talks to Fred, but we get an introduction to where do we get an introduction? Okay, yeah, she talks about her mom, how her mom like disappears and stuff like that, and we get an introduction to Norville, or yeah, there it is. We get an introduction to Norville, which is your replacement Shaggy. So this is where I have an issue. I believe it's either, I think it's like this episode or next episode where they make, okay, I think it's maybe this episode. They make jokes about like him talking about 420.
It's in the next one, episode 2.
The next one, yeah. It's pretty bad, and it gets worse. But the thing is that, like, I have no beef with them race swapping characters. To be honest with you, I actually don't. I actually think Norville is a cool character, but they sort of sideline him in this one. Of course, the show is called Velma, but it's sort of like in the original. I'm not sure if you ever got the impression that like since Fred and Daphne are a couple, Shaggy and Velma could be a couple.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I got that. Yeah,
and I believe there has been, even like in the movies and the later TV shows, like there has been some kind of like sort of some kind of relationship back and forth between the two, and you sort of, and this, they don't outright just come out and say it. It's sort of like it's to be interpreted by the viewer. And I always thought that like I think Shaggy was like probably the most likable character out of all of them, other than Scooby, right?
Yeah.
At least that's for me, because he likes eating, he's goofy, he's weird, and he has a weird voice and stuff like that. And I think for this show, I think it's fine. How they change him, but like it's just like the fact that they sort of like they switch and bait the fans in this one, right? Like if you're going into the show without knowing that they made like they canonically made Velma a lesbian in another Scooby-Doo movie or TV show, like you're gonna be like, oh cool, they're gonna get together. They're gonna get together. It's because like he has a thing for her, right? But I think he's cool. Like I have no beef about it. But what they should have done, like I keep mentioning, is why didn't they just make their own IP?
Yeah.
Right? Like they should just make your own IP if you want to like do all these crazy things. Like if your show is going to be good, you like just make your own IP, and the show was good, people would just watch it, right? Like originally, I just like I've never I thought Invincible was just a TV show on Amazon. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it was actually based off like a comic. Like I'm like I just hear people just talk about saying how good it is, and it's like, oh, it's like really cool. It's like imagine if like Justice League, but like bloody. And I was like, oh, really? Okay, let's check it out. And then I really, really enjoyed it. And I think it was actually based off of like a graphic novel or something. I'm like, oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to watch more. So if the show is really, really good, like sort of like Adventure Time or
Mm-hmm.
Teen Titans Go or whatever, like Adventure Time was completely new, right? The regular show was completely new. Steven Universe, like all that stuff was all completely new. We Are Bear Bears, all completely new IP. Why is it still around? Why do people like it? Why it was such a big phenomenon in pop culture is because it was entertaining and it was good and didn't shit on its fans. That's it, right?
That's
What
it.
happened to
Yeah.
those writers? When did we evolve to a point where, hey, um, I'm pretty sure there's an article that's going to come out from like freaking like Hollywood Reporter or something like that, saying Velma is the worst TV show that you're not watching and why it's a good thing or something like it's
Yeah.
going to be so.
Yeah, if it's something really bad, they're always gonna insert and why that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's always gonna be like that.
Yeah, like why Henry Cavill's no longer playing Superman and
Why
why it's a
good?
good
It's a good
thing. I'm like,
thing.
oh my god, they're gonna put some shit like that to fight this. And there's actually people on Twitter, of course, Twitter, the cesspool that it is, that are like backing the show. Like if you're talking about like maybe the character design, maybe the animation, the background, stuff like that, cool. But if you're talking about just pure story, the story sucks. Like you stick a cactus up my butthole, man. It's so bad. It's so bad, right? And it goes on, and then he talks. Oh yeah, I used to have a thing for you, and there's some shit like that. Oh, I always thought you were like a brother to me, and then you find out that like he's like a streamer, right?
Yeah,
You
he's
find
a
out like
streamer for tasty snacks. Apparently, he's a streamer. He streams snacks, like
yeah,
very
yeah. I
delicious
think later on
snacks.
he eats like chips from Korea, and he eats it
Uh,
something like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Oh hey, it's Tiny Dick Fred, who is a piece of shit, straight white male, how stunning and brave. Oh yeah, yeah. It's literally like you find out later, um, like I don't even know what happens here, to be honest. I don't
yeah,
know what happens here. Oh yeah, and then oh no, she finds out that the reason why her mom disappeared wasn't because of her. So then all of a sudden she gets a boost of motivation. She goes to school. She starts dressing differently, right? And everyone starts
but
noticing
wait,
her.
what was that established that she finds out that it's not because of her, or is it because she was told it's not because of her?
She was told that by her dad that it is not your fault that she left. She left is because she doesn't like she doesn't like she didn't like us or something like that. Like she didn't love our family. Like and because she thought that like her mom left or she got kidnapped or something. Uh and she never came back. But her mom was like just didn't like the family and didn't like her, and that's the reason why. And now she's like, so it's not my fault. Cool. I'm gonna get a boost of motivation now, and I'm just gonna go to school like this. And it's just like it's it's such bad writing. It's so basically
Yeah,
no one really like it's like that's the main point of the story, and then you have the other main points of the story and saying that like how like he basically talks shit about Fred, and like it's funny is because she's talking so much shit about him even
yeah,
though
yeah.
she has a crush on him. Like
Exactly,
she actually
exactly.
really likes him.
Yeah, that the first scene where they bumped into each other in the police station, it's already
Mhm.
established that even though she likes talking shit about white males, it's like she at the same time you like the guys. What is it really? What is
Okay,
it?
do you know what's crazy?
Well,
uh, I, I'm not sure if you noticed, but like a lot of people that talk shit about like, oh, how like there's like white male privilege, how they hate white people, and how white people is the reason why everything is shitty. Constance Wu is one of those people. she's dating or married a white guy. Kamala Harris, our vice president, said that married to the white guy. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, one of our congresswoman, says the reason why people are America is wrong is because of white people dating a white guy. It's just everything that you're saying. You're like, why would you date them then? If you hate them so much, why are you dating what you hate? Are you saying that just because you want woke points, or you actually mean it? Right? Or just like if you do mean it, then of course the people you're dating are just like, okay, they're just sort of beta males. But it's just like you're saying all this shit about this one race. Can you see that? That's insanely racist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's so crazy that like they don't see that. And of course you have people who are on like TikTok and say that, oh, you cannot be racist to white people. I'm like, that's absolutely insane to think about. You can
Yeah. And
you can be racist to anyone.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
So
if you backtrack a little bit, remember the scene where Vilma left the restaurant after Daphne called her out during the it's
oh,
before she meets Fred at the back.
okay, so it's like right
It's
here,
like
right?
wait, sorry. Right, wait, okay, let me just I'll show my screen for a while.
Yeah.
I think it's easier that way. Wait.
Yeah, go ahead and share our screen. Go. Let's see. That motherfucker
President.
is Shaggy. They ruined. They turned him into such a weak ass. So here's the thing. I think the reason why they can't call him Shaggy, because it could be a racist thing, is because like I don't know, that name sounds very like Shaggy, the singer. Yeah, they didn't make an original show because without piggybacking off an IP that no one will watch it. Invincible is based off of a comic book series published by Image Comics and created by Robert Kirkman. Oh yeah, the Walking Dead dude.
Walking
Yeah,
Dead. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Here, this
yeah.
scene. It's like
Okay.
I,
Oh yeah, the cockroaches. What the fuck
yeah,
is that?
I was watching this. It's like I was what before our podcast started. I
Mhm.
was watching again, so I remember something. I was wondering again just earlier. It's like, what is this scene? It's like, what is with all these cockroaches? And then suddenly they ran away, right? They suddenly vacated. It's like, so why? So what's with all these cockroaches suddenly running away? So it's like then Fred appeared. So it's like they're making out like Fred is so disgusting, so such a degenerate that even all these cockroaches are afraid of him. That's my
Mhm.
interpretation. That's my interpretation of it. It's like it's so yeah. It's there's no better word to say. It's like you're being racist, extremely racist. Like people like they like to claim these people of color and stuff like, but white is also a color. So why are you being such racists to white people?
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
That's my take of it. Like you're saying Fred is so disgusting that even all these waves and waves of cockroaches don't even like him.
Mhm.
That's what you're trying to imply. I think that's
Yeah.
what this thing is trying to imply. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's it. Then even in the car ride with Norval, Vilma makes the remark again. If I were a rich white male, I would kill anyone just so that I could get away with it. So she
Oh
keeps
yeah. Oh my god. That's so racist.
yeah, she keeps making all these subtle one sentence remarks about white guys. It's not a rich guy or uh it's not a rich person or this kind of person. It's always white. She always says white. So
Yeah.
it's so racist. It's extremely racist.
Yeah, but the thing is that you can't be racist to white people. So like it's that's how it is. And so another person chat said, I'd be willing to bet that Mindy Kaling got rejected by some hot white dude back in high school, and now that she's no freaking way we have drunk 3PO in the chat.
Yeah, hi. I'm a fan. I watch your videos.
No
I'm surprised.
freaking way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised too.
No freaking way, dude. Welcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, white is a color, and these people are overtly racist, and they had to edit the definition of racism in the dictionary. It's insane. Yeah, like they even like the crazy thing is that they even edited like the definition of like woman, right?
Mhm.
Because like, oh, we got to be inclusive or whatever. But it's super. It's 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 so overtly like racist, and they just don't see it. It's because they're in their Hollywood bubble where they're just like, okay, I'm just gonna, because I'm an elite, I'm just gonna do whatever I want, and it's crazy. But hey, how's it going, Drunk 3PO? How's it going? Uh, but yeah, is that actually Drunk 3PO or just some fan account? I don't know. I have I have no idea. But but if that's Drunk 3PO, then thank you so much. But yeah, it's the show's insanely bad. Not fan account, nah, just now click on it. I don't know. I don't think I can click on your photo.
Yeah, because we're using the StreamYard interface, not the YouTube one. But yeah, I'm just gonna assume it's the real one.
Yeah, racism is now something like power over something equals the theory of relativity. It's like, oh, what the fuck are you talking about? Absolutely. And it's just the whole um like I was talking to my wife. It's the whole like intersectionality thing. It's sort of like who is more oppressed, and straight white males are on the bottom of the list, and that's the reason why like we can according to Hollywood, we can make fun of them. We can actually just make sure that like just you're white and stuff like that, and you have all these people in Hollywood. Like you have to have, I believe isn't in the Oscars, they mentioned that I think you have to have 50% of your cast, may it be the people who are working on the show or people who are working behind the scenes. You have to have a balance of people who work there. May it be it's white, trans, gay. You have to have a balance. Like you can't have a show or a movie that's all white anymore. Like or it cannot, you cannot be nominated for an Oscar, which is it's just crazy, right?
Yeah.
How about if you have a show that's like all done by like white dudes, but it's like really really good? Like
Uh huh.
how is that not allowed? I don't know. Man, it's a yeah, it's just like this entire show is basically saying that like I actually really am in love with this white dude, but the fact that he does not find me attractive, I'm gonna shit on him whenever I can.
Yeah,
And
and
yeah, it's just exactly. I completely forgot about the parts like, oh, if I was a straight white male, I can get away with murder. I'm like,
yeah, she said it.
what?
She says it so many times. That was just one of them. Like all throughout the episodes, like Vilma makes this one sentence remarks about she targets particularly rich white males, white males to do this, white males does that. I just don't remember all of it, but she keeps bringing it up from all throughout, even in episode two,
Mhm.
I just don't remember them. But if I probably backtrack it, I'll probably pinpoint each one of them. Maybe I'll make a
Yeah,
short video if I'll consolidate all of them, kind of like what I did with Blood Origin.
yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
I'll
it's
probably do that.
so yeah, what happens after the high school, the high school the high
The
school
high
scene?
school scene. Uh, oops. Yeah. Yeah. I kind of. Oh, I don't like this either. It's like, what are you trying to imply here? It's like this guy is like this white dude is okay. He slit his foot off. It's fine. It's
Hmm.
perfectly okay. I mean, the school didn't really apprehend anyone for it. It's like it's fine. He'll be okay. You chop off his leg,
Hmm.
then okay, let me see. Then yeah, then Vilma figures it. No, this is already. Oh wait, this happens after. Like I forgot what made Vilma go to Norville. It's like I something to, or am I getting this sequence wrong? Is this something like
No,
they said it?
I
They
think
oh
this
yeah,
is
wait.
correct.
Yeah, they I forgot. Velma deduced like it's Fred. Fred may be the murderer because he's trying to cover his tracks because Brenda saw his small peepee.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Right,
it's
right.
yeah, I think so. It's I believe yeah, I think that they saw his like really like shiny leg. Was that this episode?
That was at the end. That was the
Oh,
end.
that was at the end. Okay, that was the end.
That was at the end. Like,
Okay.
okay. So it was here. That's why I took a screenshot of this. It's because
Mm,
this is where Vilma says that. Okay, I have that in my notepad. if I were a rich white dude, I would kill anybody just to get away with it. That's the scene where she says it. I kind of went ahead because I mistook this Norville scene for this one.
Okay. Oh
Apparently,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. He. I think she's like, I need to like track down like this like case or something like that, and I need you to drive me, like because she doesn't have a car, so like she sort of like coerced
yeah,
him or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
How
and
long have you guys been doing YouTube? I think we started like late last year. No, was it
yeah,
last?
yeah.
Yeah, it was like it was probably like late last
Around
year.
September, but we went on hiatus because of personal stuff for Phil.
Yeah,
So
I had a kid, so I had to go on a hiatus for like two
yeah,
months.
that's what that was like. I was uploading anime videos, gaming videos. I intentionally stopped doing woke stuff for a while, so that's
The
why.
worst part of the show is the underage nude scene at the beginning. Yes, I was like,
Yes,
wait. So yeah, you're on board. You're borderline basically showing like nudity, and these people are supposed to be underage. So these so are it's sort of like, okay, I've never watched a Big Mouth, but I heard it's similar, right? So I like my wife really likes Big Mouth. I can't as a person who's an artist working in the industry, I hate terrible art styles, and I just couldn't get past it. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this. But my wife really likes it. But yeah, it's just in the beginning. It's like these girls are supposed to be like 16 or 17, and you're basically showing them almost like 90% nude. Like okay, why the hell would you do that?
yeah, and she. Let's not forget Daphne beating up this girl for just because they disagree. Like she was pushing her down in the water. It's like here, this scene.
Yeah, in the beginning, right?
Yeah, because like she said, like what? How come the scene in Riverdale, which is another TV series in Netflix, but I didn't watch it. It's like, how come
Mhm.
they? She was like shooting at the lesbian scene in Riverdale. It's like Daphne kind of just disagreed with it, and Daphne started beating her up, beating her up like that. It's like I don't know. I don't know what the message is there, but yeah, that happened. Then that's when Vilma came in and started hitting Daphne with that crowbar.
Yeah,
Apparently,
yeah,
that's perfectly okay as long
yeah.
as
She's not gonna go to jail. She's the main character.
she's the main
Yeah.
character.
Yeah. Didn't the showrunners take a shot at how sexualized Daphne is? Yet they had another nude in the nude episode in the first episode. Yeah. Yeah. While they approved those lines that lines to be said, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, there are
But
many of them. I'll probably collate them. I'll collate them and I'll make a video out of it.
yeah, yeah. So then you have I believe they go to what's this Fred's house at the end of the episode, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and yeah, they kind of shat on Norville even more. Or
This is the racist part I'm talking about.
yeah, right. Like look at this. Like, are drugs destroying? Like, so they're really implying that this guy does drugs. Drugs. Like,
Yeah, and the fact that is, I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit, but the next episode, I think like he needs to sort of. They talk about 420, I think, in the beginning of the next episode, and they also mention like he also has to like go undercover as like a drug dealer in the next episode. I'm like, dude, how is that not racist?
yeah, yeah,
Right? It's like it's like you're showing a black guy
yeah.
who's and he's drug
They
dealing. Like what in God's name?
Yeah, Deadlight for clarity in the early at the start of the episode was like Daphne was like talking about something to do with do you know the start of a TV series where they show the most gratuitous scenes? That Daphne was having a conversation in the shower with her fellow classmates. Then it's like it's they were discussing like if it's a good or bad scene, and this girl was literally just disagreeing with them. This girl was literally just disagreeing with them. Like I think risque scenes are fine, and Daphne was like, no, it's not. It's like then this girl was bringing up Riverdale, it's a Netflix series, and like why did they cut it or why did they add it? I don't remember the exact
Mhm.
words. She was describing a lesbian scene in Riverdale. Then Daphne was like, just because Daphne disagreed with her, they had a fight. They literally fought. They literally fought just because of having that small argument. Then Daphne ends up pummeling her to the floor and putting her down. And yeah, that's what it looks like. Putting her in the water. So it's kind of like you went really violent for like something so stupid. Like
Mhm.
somewhat some like just you punch someone just because he took your candy or something like that. That's what it's implying in this first scene. Then
Yeah.
yeah, then Vilma comes in here wearing a stalker outfit and started she just smacks Daphne for who knows why. Just because she hates her. I mean, she doesn't like her because Daphne left her for because she's not cool anymore. Daphne is the cool high school girl, so she left Vilma behind. So
Yeah.
Vilma hits her with a crowbar just because of that.
Yeah. And it's just
Yeah.
awesome character development. Phillip, I just followed you on Twitter, so you know it's me. Oh shit. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. So see, so Grae, it's him. And I also
Okay.
double checked, and I went to his channel on YouTube. Yeah, it's him. But
Okay.
holy shit,
Okay.
man, drunk 3P. Holy shit, thank you so much for the follow and the subscribe. Thank you so much. Um, I forgot who, but I heard someone say that since Shaggy is a black, he has a friend and dog, if you will, named Scooby. I couldn't. Oh yes,
Yeah.
Riverdale, the show where a teacher had sex with an underage student, but the teacher was hot, so the student was male, so it totally wasn't rape pedophilia. Nope, it's all good. So here's the thing. I was talking about this to my wife, and I was like, so imagine a multi-billionaire was what's it called again? He grabbed the girl by a pussy.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
but he's really good looking, really good looking. Oh, it's totally fine. Totally fine because that's what's it called again? 50 Shades of Grey. But if he's extremely ugly looking and he's not attractive, then you can't have that. You can't have that, right? But I digress. It's just that we in society and a lot of these things in pop culture, we hold double standards to a lot of these things, and it's I'm not, of course, no matter what, it's wrong. If there's no consent or it's considered underage or whatever it is. But we have to show the hypocrisy about like all these things that they're espousing, but they're not following. It's just like the rules for thee and not for me, that kind of thing. And the thing is, like, we have this thing in it that's injected into our medium, right? That the
Yeah.
show that we watch or the movies that we watch. It makes me very sad where the industry is going. If Brad Pitt hits on a woman, it's okay, but if I say hello, I get pepper sprayed. Fucking BS,
Yeah.
my dudes. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's bad.
It's also the same thing with, as Deadlight mentioned. It's whenever you read an article or see something online for like a female teacher does sex with a student, with a male student, it's not uncommon to see comments like, "Ooh, lucky student. Oh, I wouldn't have snitched on the teacher if I was me." It's like, if that was a male, if it was a male teacher and it's a female student, it's gonna get so much backlash. But if it's a female teacher to a male student, you're gonna see people make that jokes. But it's the same thing. It's still wrong. It's still immoral. It's still, that shouldn't have happened.
Like, hey, Gray, did you ever watch? I'm not sure if you watched the South Park episode where it's like what's it called again? Ike, which is Kyle's he's Canadian younger Canadian brother. I think he's like 3 or 4.
Oh,
And
I didn't even know. I didn't watch a lot of South Park, but
but
yeah.
there was this scene. There's a scene where, like, I guess, like, he's in kindergarten or preschool, and the teacher is like this hot blonde girl, and the female teacher is like, "Oh, I have feelings for you, Ike, and like whenever you're around, it makes me so hot." And then so she sort of like does the whole like teach like underage kind of thing, and then I guess Kyle finds out, and then Kyle goes to the cops, and the cops is like, "Hi, I want to report a teacher having relationships with underage kid." And it's like, "Who is this guy? Who is this? Tell me his name." And it's like, "She's this," and it's like, "Wait, she?" And it's like, "Yeah, it's the preschool teacher in the school." It's like, "Wait, the really hot blonde one?" He's like, "Yeah." Oh, nice. It's just like it's this double standards, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, no matter what, it should be wrong. And like, of course we have what's it called again? My big ass male brain is like, where were these hot teachers when I was a kid?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, it's funny. It's like, oh, where are these damn these hot ass teachers and stuff like that? But it's just like, there's a lot of these things that we need to hold people accountable, maybe if it's double standards, maybe if it's like, oh, just because it's the opposite sex and you're gonna look at it lightly, just because this person that was extremely hot, like there was this I believe this like sex trafficker, I forgot his name, but this was like back in like 2012 2010, I forgot, but this guy looked like a freaking like Giga Chad. He literally looks like the Giga Chad model. He's bald and like he's like he has tattoos all over him, but he's extremely attractive and good looking, and
Oh,
he went to jail.
yeah,
Y-
I
y-
know what you're
y-
referring to. He
Yeah,
he got hired. He got hired as a model.
yeah, he got hired as like
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah, yeah,
perfume or like cologne model, like after he got
yeah,
out of
yeah,
jail. I'm like, what the hell?
yeah.
And everyone's like, oh my god, he's in jail. I'm so sad. It's not creepy or sexual harassment if they're hot. Exactly. Right. Oh my god. I know the South Park episode you're talking about, but yeah, it was so fucking gross, and it was an important issue to bring up. That episode was where if nice gift comes from, yeah, nice. But yeah, so let's continue. Oh yeah, so in your, I think it's a panel. You're 24. I believe they head over to Fred's house. I believe 22 24, right?
Yeah, this one is, yeah, it's kind of like shitting on Norville more. It's like, oh, I got bored, so I called you. It's like, just I don't know why are they doing the mail so dirty? That's my point anyway. Then yeah,
Mhm.
Vilma's like, yeah, because she was facing her hallucinations, which I don't like. I really don't like that hallucination bit. It's like
Mhm.
it's exaggerated. It feels out of place. Like, okay, keep telling me that you like me. It's like, because it's driving the hallucination away. Apparently, like, because that's supposedly the way to drive the hallucination away. It's for Norval to keep, like, to flirt with her, or telling,
Oh
you know,
yeah, yeah,
admit
yeah.
his
Okay, remember
feelings.
this part. Yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah, yeah, I think she's on her like weird hallucination trip where like she was gonna die. She felt like she was gonna die.
yeah.
And like I think Norville was literally like pouring his art out to
Hmm.
Velma, saying like how much like I really liked you more than than a friend, and she thought it was so funny because
Yeah.
she never sees him like that ever, and you sort
Mm.
of feel bad for the guy. You're like, okay,
Yeah,
that sort of sucks,
exactly.
and it's just sort of like, oh, she kept laughing and kept laughing. Oh, thank you so much for being funny because your jokes were hilarious, and he's like, oh, damn, that sucks, right? And it sort of goes to show that like the are sort of like our shipping of the character that is Norval or Shaggy with Velma is not going to ever be a thing in the show. But for me, I always think that like I always want the underdog to win. Sort of like whenever a guy really likes a girl, the girl doesn't see him until maybe he does something heroic or something like that. But I don't think that's going to happen in the show because we know exactly what happens at the end of episode 2.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, then what do I have next? Oh yeah, that's the scene you're talking about. Then Fred makes his reveal. Because
Mhm.
Brenda saw these. Then apparently, yeah, the white guy is immature. He hasn't reached adolescent, small PPs. Then they make it seem like Vilma was in peril, in kind of in danger. So because of
Mhm.
that, they promote police brutality. They
Oh
promote
yeah,
police
like her,
brutality.
like the cops come in and just like
And,
shoot his
shoot
leg.
him, shoot his leg, and yeah, apparently it's just a checkbook and a pen. It's like he was just trying to bribe her to keep her silent, not kill her. So yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it's like shoot first, ask questions later. That's what happened. So
yeah,
it's okay as long as it's the white guy. That's
yeah.
I mean that's what I got out of it. It's the immature white guy, so it's fine.
See,
You can shoot him in the
so
leg.
here's the thing. Imagine if this guy was black,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just
Mm-hmm.
imagine it. Like, okay, if they race swap Fred and he was a black guy, like it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, that's racism. Wait. So you're saying that it can't be racism towards him, right?
Yep.
It's. Well, but the thing is that, oh, just yeah, like you said, like shoot first, ask questions later. It's like, okay, how's this okay, right?
Yeah.
Um, why would Norvo put up with Velma's shit? I knew so many black dudes who liked him back in high school because he always had women going after them. So there's no reason for him to simp for her. And the thing is that like it's I don't know, man. They it's especially with this whole like Mindy Kaling thing, like her taking a sort of advantage of her position in power, making just like this character extremely unlikable, right? She out of everyone in the show so far, she's the worst character. Like
Yeah.
I actually like despise her character. It's like she's just so like, and the fact that she's wrong too,
Yeah.
and it's just it's sort of, and that's what makes that's what makes her more insufferable than Galadriel, right? Galadriel is just like she's just oh gosh, like she's stupid. I don't like her, but like she it's she does all these shit where it makes her feel like I'm always right, I'm always right. But for
Yeah.
her, I don't know. I just don't like
No,
her.
no,
I don't know.
no.
I like her.
Yeah,
Did you feel the same way?
yeah, yeah. I can't believe we're defending Galadriel so soon after Riri's power. We're actually we've gone so low that we're defending Galadriel. We're
Man, that's
defending. Yeah,
who
yeah,
knew? Who
yeah,
knew?
yeah. Galadriel was crap in Rings of Power. She's obnoxious. She's women, empowered women. But the thing is, with Galadriel, it's like she believes what she's doing is right because you can say it's for the good. She's doing things what she believes is right and what's good for everyone. This
Mhm,
Vilma is just simply attacking people for the sake of attacking people, for the sake of infuriating them. At least Galadriel's infuriating people, not because she was going out of her way to doing so. She's infuriating people because what she's doing. That's what makes her the better character. That's why.
mhm,
This Vilma's like she's really going after, oh, white people are stupid, white people are killers, white people are privileged, and stuff like that. She's really going out of her way to insult people. That's why. That alone makes her the worst character compared to Galadriel.
yeah. And of course they're gonna make him a rich white guy at that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because he's in the privileged state. You know, he has weights in his room. Look how big his room is. He has like awards and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's like an heir to like the Joneses, like, you know, ascot, like like
Yeah.
of I don't know, fucking company or something. It's also fucked that there are guys who hit puberty late and have to go through feelings of inadequacy yet used for jokes on the show. Yeah. How about there are guys who are like late bloomers, right? There are females who are late bloomers, and it's like so you're basically making fun of people. Oh, how about the people who actually have like micro penises, you know? Like people who actually have small peepees in real life. You're making fun of them, right? And the thing is that in my opinion, I think it's such an easy stupid like way to get back at like men, right? It's sort of like like it's something that we can't change, right? So let's say like you're a male, and you notice that like you have like a micro penis or something like that, and it's something that you cannot change, and it's like, and someone makes fun of you for it. It's like what kind of shitty person are you, right? And the thing is that maybe it's true or not. It's such a like, oh, you always hear these people on like Instagram or TikTok or whatever, you know, saying that like, oh, you have like small dick energy. Oh yeah, just because you're trying to like compensate for something else, and that's the reason why you have this, or that's the reason why you say or you do the things you do, is because you're trying to compensate for all because you have a small penis. It's sort of
Mm-hmm.
like it's such like a low blow, and it's such a like a cheap way to just like get your, you know, I'm just gonna say shit like if I'm calling you out for something, or I'm saying that you're something, and it's like, oh, you're saying this because you have a small dick. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
what? Just
Yeah.
it's sort of like a stupid way of people just saying things is because they don't have a good comeback, and they're saying that it's because they know that, you know, when it comes to males, like it's just like, you know, length has always been like something that like people would want. A little bigger you are, the better you are, or whatever. You get more girls or whatever. It's it. I don't think that's the case. Like I just think that it's just you're just bashing people just because you feel like that's a funny joke. You're talking about someone's small dick. It just I don't know how to write, so I'm just gonna say these stupid jokes that I
Mm-hmm.
think that are funny to like, you know, 5-year-olds. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
It's making
Then
fun of someone for something that they actually literally that they actually literally can't change. Uh, you'll never see a show coming out today that makes fun of women for having small breasts or are fat. Yeah, exactly. Like it's like it's the whole double standards thing.
mhm, for
Oh yeah,
sure.
but yeah, yeah. You can
Yeah,
continue. Sorry.
we're at the tail end of episode one. Okay, okay. I kind of jumped forward here because we already talked about it, like police brutality. Then Vilma supposedly about to give up on the search for her mom with
Mm,
with the gift he gave her. She's about to throw it away. Then we find out that I think her name's Krista. Yeah, Krista. Yeah, her brain is sliced out again. So we're closer to nowhere on who the real culprit is. So she was there in Vilma's house, apparently,
mm,
probably to implicate her even more. So the killer moved her to the house of Vilma's house, and that's where episode 1 ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is that like episode 1 was really boring. Like the only highlights from that episode 1 was just like it just number 1 making fun of white dudes. Number 2 making fun of white dudes. and making fun of dudes that have small dicks. Right?
There is no good male character. All of them are
No,
crap.
there is none.
All of them are stupid, all of them are incompetent, all of them are weak. Literally. I mean, all the reviews were true. Before I started watching, all of them were true.
Yeah, and the thing is, I originally thought that okay, maybe most of the show or the crappy shit that we saw were all in the trailers, and maybe the show is actually halfway decent, and it's not. It's actually worse. It's actually there's actually worse shit that they're not showing is because it's because it'll be marked as racist.
Yeah,
Right?
that's why HBO Max already disabled the comments when they released it.
Really?
Yeah, it's already automatically disabled. I know a lot of people cover that. I know Ryan did. I know Ryan Kindle did. It's automatically disabled. So because they know they were gonna get a lot of flack for it.
Yeah. If you were to claim a girl to having small chest complex, then that would be so wrong. Yeah. The show's crazy. Absolutely. Okay, I'm slow with my comments. No worries.
Yeah,
if you guys want a fun show, go. If you guys want a fun show that I suggest, Tick from from Amazon. It was a good show, but once again, they didn't advertise it so well, so it got canceled. Oh, okay. I heard about it.
Yeah, I've Nerdrotic mentioned it a bit. Like he said, it was a really, really good show, but it got canceled. But yeah, I should probably look into it as well. So yeah, finally we're in episode 2. So it started off with a flashback, and yeah, Fred being the douchebaggy small dick characters, like he's still trying to look good here in the press.
Mhm.
This is the part where they were dragging him to the police station, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, then apparently the lawyers who's gonna represent him is Vilma's dad. Yeah, so it's like he's trying to because if he defends Fred, given that they're a large family conglomerate, so it's gonna accelerate him to fame.
Mhm.
That's what he's trying to go for. So it starts off with that. Then this is the scene where you were mentioning actually forgot what 420 means again. I only learned it through this show. What does 420 mean again?
Okay, so 420. To be honest, I don't know where that originated, but 420 is like a quick way of saying like weed, marijuana, that kind of stuff. So it was a 420, and basically it's just like whenever someone says 420, it's just people automatically just think of you smoke weed or something like that. I'm not sure if it was like a specific date here in the States where they like somehow like legalized it or something like that. Let me double check. Let's see. 420 cannabis culture. So let me go ahead and read this really quick. 420 or 420 as in the date is a cannabis culture slang for marijuana and hash-ish consumption, especially smoking around the time 420. It also refers to cannabis oriented celebrations that take place in annually April 20th at locations in the United States where cannabis is legal. Cannabis and dispensaries will often offer discounts on their products. So where the hell did it originate though? That's the crazy thing. Origins. Okay, here it is. In 1971, 5 high school students in San Rafael, California, used the term 420 in connection with the plan to search for an abandoned cannabis crop based on a treasure map made by the grower, calling themselves the Waldos because their typical hangout spot was a wall outside the school. The 5 students, Steve Capper, Dave Reddix, and Jeffrey Joel, Larry Schwartz, and Mark Gravich, they designated the Louis Pasteur statue on the grounds of the San Rafael High School in their meeting place. At 420 was the time of their meeting. The Waldos referred to the plan as the phrase 420 Louis. After several failed attempts to find a crop, the group eventually shortened the phrase to just 420, which ultimately evolved to the code word and the teens referred to as consuming cannabis. So basically, that's what it is.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, that's basically the origins of that. And I have a lot of my friends who just basically like 420, and then like they would just like smoke weed or something like that. But I know,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Deadlight said nobody knows its origins because they were too high to remember. Yeah, I couldn't
exactly.
remember it because they were busy with the weed. Yeah, I took this screenshot because it's like I don't it's this screenshot culminates for me all the characters of the show.
Hmm.
It's like everyone's an asshole. Everyone's an ass, in my opinion. Nobody's a good guy here. It's like it is like yeah, Vilma's an ass. Her dad is yeah, he's stupid. Even the waitress, Daphne, everyone's not a good person here. That's why I took
Yeah.
the screenshot. Everyone, literally everyone, no one's likable. Everyone's just simply terrible. In comparison to the old Scooby Doo show, like it's so lighthearted. It's just a bunch of high school students wanting to investigate and find the culprit to stop the culprit from doing their dastardly deeds. Then
Hmm.
how did it come from there to all the way here, where it's all about getting high, attacking white dudes? I don't know. It's like it's such a huge jump or a huge
Hmm.
down. It's like it's kind of sad in my opinion. It's like all they needed was to make a Scooby Doo show. It's like speaking of, that's probably the best thing. Okay, the one good thing about this show is like they had the decency to not put Scooby Doo himself here.
Yeah.
At least Scooby Doo is kind of it's like at this point it's still kind of untouched or sacred. At least they took out Scooby Doo. The last
Hmm.
thing we want is a Scooby Doo who's like shitting on white people or a Scooby Doo sniffing on or doing marijuana. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
Yeah. It's
that's the reason why I took this screenshot. It's like it's just a summation of that feeling of mine.
it's 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 that thing where they just want a show where they can just shit on the fans, where they don't care what backlash it gets. And it's sort of like you have something that's so beloved, like Scooby-Doo or any of the Marvel projects, just in general, where it just you have a built-in fan base where everyone just loves the characters, and you just go ahead and just murder the characters. You literally just just completely destroy like the legacy of the character, the legacy of the creators. And it's just like you can see, like I wonder what like H&B would say if they were alive today, right? Like that, like I want to ask my friend David Feast. Like I believe he's a director at like Sony Animation right now, and like I want to ask him. It's like, what did you watch the new Velma show? And as a person who worked directly under H&B, Hanna-Barbera, what do you think about the show? It's just
Oh,
like should I just ask them? Like I'm friends with Mark Perry, who's character designer. Like I'm friends with him like on Facebook. I like is he gonna be like, oh, I don't care anymore? Or the thing is that, but because if they're like, if they don't care, then it makes sense, right? It's because these higher ups of these legacy people that work in these industries, they're just like so out of it, or they're just like, oh, I'm not really, either I'm not working on that project anymore, or just like, oh, the fact that I have a job, I don't really care. Like I wonder how they feel. Like so it's sort of like if I asked like a friend of mine who worked on Iron Giant, right? And it's like, oh, they're rebooting Iron Giant for the modern day, and then they're changing up Hogarth because like they're changing up all these stories and stuff like that. Like, how would you feel if they shit on like the original characters, the original animators and stuff? Like, how would you feel? And it's like, did it? And to be honest, I don't think these companies care at all. Like,
yeah.
it's sort of like just knowing how animation is, it sucks where it's going. You from time to time you get some like really like cool TV shows that are coming out. Like I'm still waiting for Invincible season 2, but you have it's just they don't care. I would say they're just like, hey, you just like it. You're gonna sit there, you're gonna like it, and you're gonna enjoy what we come out with. Like we don't want to hear anything. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. And I think that's their mentality. They're just like, is the show good? And it's like, you better, it's like we only want positive answers only. And I believe these people who are running the shows, they're I would consider them like the participation trophy kind of group. It's like they have to, like, here's, even though you didn't win, here's a trophy for you because just an A for effort. And I and that's who it's catered to. And it's I think a lot of people aren't gonna really care about the show. Like the show is being shit on by every facet of like entertainment right now, like CNN, like a bunch of like YouTubers and stuff like that, like influencers. Like it's no one likes this. Velma is a Mary Sue. All the other characters are mean and incompetent or stupid or mediocre except Velma. She is a smart and underappreciated woman who's always right. Yeah, that definitely feels like it. Did you guys ever see the episode of Supernatural where the characters that was showed up on the sucked into a TV in the episode of Scooby Doo was really funny? Oh yeah, there's a crossover between Supernatural and Scooby Doo. I have not seen it, but I heard it's really good. I heard it's really good. Have you seen it, Grae?
No, I haven't. But yeah, it's probably better if I actually watch the old Scooby Doo to feel better.
Yeah,
just for old time's sake.
And the thing is that they're trying to erase the past. Like they're trying to like a lot of these things that they're coming out with. It's like, oh, we're just getting rid of the past. Like a lot of the cool stuff that you remember from back in the day. Yeah, it's not going to be good anymore, or it's going to be hard to find. Like I guarantee you that when like I don't know, the new live action Little Mermaid comes out, like a lot of the old stuff is sort of going to be like buried. Like I already see a lot of like illustration books with the new Little Mermaid. Like I already see like they're sort of like trying to erase like the past. And I already hear that they're trying to basically like completely erase Walt Disney from the Disney like property. Like
Dang.
like I because I believe Walt was a Republican or a conservative type. and like you can't have any of that. And Walt really values American, like being an American, Americanism. He values the family, and you can't have that because it's not inclusive and stuff like that. And that's the reason why that speech where he says, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, stuff like that. Like you can't say that anymore. It's because that's not inclusive. So
Yeah.
like a lot of what Disney used to be, which is the stuff that I grew up watching, it's gonna get erased, and it's just gonna be this hodgepodge of just weird shit that I don't remember, that I don't recognize anymore, and
True.
it's fucking sucks, and it's ruining everything. Sorry,
Mhm.
sorry.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely relate. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's why when I talk to my because yeah, I have a shared Disney Plus subscription with my friends. I tell them watch the old ones, watch the classics because those are the really good stuff back in Disney's prime, back in the golden age, should you say, back when they really cared about these characters and good writing. Like if
Mhm.
like I was telling my friends like, should I watch the live action one? No, just watch the classic Mulan. Don't watch the old one because
Yeah.
yeah, I tell them about it because people here aren't really into what's going on there in the West. But yeah, I try to tell them like, yeah, a lot of stuff's going down in the Western entertainment front.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but here we are. Hope maybe it'll get better. I don't know. Someday.
It's I would say it's gonna be a while. I would say maybe hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years things change. A lot of these like woke stuff that Hollywood's coming out with, that they think it's good and it's not meant for use for modern day audiences and stuff like that. I'm not sure how that's going to be. Is because I think that this has always been the plan. It's just the fact that we're seeing a lot of these things more on social media, especially with 2020 like happening.
Mhm.
We're seeing like everything is all digital now. We know that like Disney saying that like 50% of the stuff they're gonna be coming out with is gonna be LGBT like related.
Mhm.
It's like they have to make that like that has to be like one of the things in the front, and that's the reason why I think Strange World like lost like $200 million. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like if that's gonna be your story, oh, the reason why this movie is supposed to be really good, the reason why Witcher Blood Origin is really good is because of the cast and and it's two males kissing. That's the reason why it's good. Not because of the story, not because of the the characters or the animation. It's not because of that. It's because of because the cast and the characters that they're gonna be kissing.
Yeah.
And sure, it's okay. You lost $200 million. Like, are you okay with that? Like Disney lost like $100 billion. I
Yeah.
believe last year, which is insane.
Yeah. So I think that's the tiny slither of hope first, because they're starting to feel the financial hit now more
Mhm,
than ever. So that's probably one of prob hopefully a huge catalyst to start turning things around.
mhm,
If kind of like David Zaslav for the DC stuff, he can so many things. But yeah, I we talked about it last week that about James Gunn still retaining Ezra Miller. But I actually thinking about it now, I think with regards to that issue, it's probably because they want the Flash movie to come out first before they ditch him. That's what
mhm,
I'm starting. That's what I think. It's like I don't because we were kind of like gun pinning it on James Gunn that it's him. Why are you keeping Ezra Miller and you're removing Henry Cavill? I think I actually think looking at it now, I think it's because I think it's because they put in so much money to the Flash movie. It's like they cannot back out of it anymore. It's like it's gonna be too much of a sunk cost if they just scrap it altogether. So
mhm,
what they're probably doing now is that's why they're kind of mum about the Ezra Miller situation. It's like release the movie first, and then once the movie releases for quite a while, they got some money back. That's the time they start ditching Ezra Miller. At least that's what I think. If they decide to still keep him after that, then yeah, then our points stand. Our points are valid. Like yeah, it's not going on a good direction either.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
All right, you can continue. Sorry, this
Okay,
is like
so
sidetracked.
yeah, it's fine. I mean, I kind of got carried away here too. So oh yeah, so here Vilma's asking Daphne for her mother's case files because like yeah, she wants to investigate what happened to her mom, and Daphne's parents are the investigators, the lesbian couple. They're investigating. They're also the supposed investigators of the disappearance of Vilma's mom. So
Mhm,
Vilma wants to do her own investigation, so she asks Daphne for her case files, which Daphne, being the good friend that she is, yeah, I'll give it to you for $500. So she's asking for $500, but she's asking for payment to help out her former friend, I suppose. So yeah, Daphne also being a douche. Then yeah, okay. So this is the scene where Vilma's dad visits. Yeah, so Vilma's dad takes on the case to defend Fred because he's
mhm.
being accused of being the murderer of Brenda and maybe also Krista. Uh, so it just shows again Fred being obnoxious, being stupid. Cooties, cut my pancakes so I can eat them. It's really they're really putting him down to the very bottom. Then
Yeah, he's like a man child. Yeah, it's
yeah,
just like, oh, straight
li-
white
li-
male
li-
man child who's
literally
rich and entitled.
yeah. Then I know the next scene's also the same. Yeah. Oh, I'm so dirty now. Please, someone give me a shower. Give me a shower. And like yeah, really putting him to the bottom, to the very bottom. Like okay, then yeah, then Daphne reveals that she's actually a drug dealer, which is okay, which is totally fine. I suppose it's supposedly acceptable. So to get that $500, Vilma needs to help Daphne sell drugs. So
Mhm.
Vilma's gonna be a drug dealer too. Yeah, shining good example, I suppose. Then okay, here we go. Norval. So yeah, so if you think Norval was bad in the first episode, he's much worse here. Much, much worse here. So
Yeah.
yeah. Norval finds out that about Vilma needing $500 to be able to get the case files from Daphne. So he desperately tries to sell his things so that please, please buy my stuff so that I can have money so that Vilma will like me back. So yeah, he's desperately trying to muster the money also.
It's it's funny is because they did this trope saying that like how the best friend or something like that would somehow come up with money to help the friend. And in my opinion, the thing is that I think a lot of guys can relate to him. It's sort of like, have you ever felt that like a case where like you like this person, right? And you're like you want to like, and they need money or something like that, and they need money or they need help or something, or like, and then you're like, oh, I'll do it. I'll do it. It's because you want sort of acknowledgement. You want them to sort of recognize you, and maybe like you feel it's because like we have as men or as males, like we feel like we are like the knight in shining armor. May it be if like we're there to help them, we're there to like provide something for them, so we can so they can recognize us as potential like boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I I feel like it's just like, and at the fact like this, it's like, oh, I'm gonna sell this thing that like one of my most prized things that I have, so I can like get this girl to like me, and it's all not gonna it does not work out for him, and it sucks, right? I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just like you feel bad for him.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot Daphne's justification, Deadlight, about why she chose it, but she was like she was kind of justifying it through cases from TV shows. Like they needed it for the money, they needed it to pay for the mortgage, but she doesn't really explain why her in part. Oh, she doesn't explain yet why she doesn't explain yet why she needs the money. But
Mhm.
I went back to this because yeah, Vilma makes another remark for this one. Like Vilma was like, the only people who deal with drugs are white people. She literally says it. She only
Mhm.
it's white people who actually deal with drugs. So again, another attack to white people, another attack
Yeah.
to the whites. So yeah, I'll be sure to collate that as well. Uh, I'll be collating all of them for the first two episodes. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's
Yeah.
it probably lasts for a minute actually with all the attacks on the white people.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's blatantly, it's like how it's it imagine just switching out like white for any other race. Like this show would have been like, it wouldn't even been greenlit. But the fact that you're making fun of white people, okay, that's fine. That's
yeah,
fine,
it's
because
okay.
what white people aren't human. So, like we can make fun of them. They've already had their time. It's time, you know, it's time for us, people of color to rise up and stuff like that. It's just it feels like it's like you're like the reason why you're saying that there's quote unquote white supremacy is because you might actually think there are white people are superior, right? The reason why you're saying, oh, white people can get away with this because white supremacy, then you are in fact saying that they can is because they're white and they're better than you. No, the thing it's just you're saying, oh, the reason why white people don't get pulled over is because they're white, and oh, the reason why white people are able to get away with crimes because they're white. Then the fact that you're saying that all these things is not big. It's just you're basically just saying that you're saying that white people are better. It's sort of like you're saying just because you're the reason why you're able to get with this because you're white. That means that you think that they're actually better than you, which
Mhm.
which is sort of like a different mindset. Why people you should just think differently, and the fact that they are so like beating this down your fucking dick hole. You're basically trying to tell people like, hey, this is actually true. This is actually real, and you should make fun of white people as much as possible. And how is this a good show for kids to watch?
Exactly.
It's such a bad example. You're setting such a bad example for like the people of the future. It sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Then next is oh again another one. So like Daphne was like training Vilma to how to deal with drugs. Okay, your first customer, go sell them our goods. Then Vilma was like, let's see, did I take note of that? Okay, so like Vilma was like attacking this girl. Oh, she
Mm-hmm.
goes like, white girl with too much money. So again, another white remark. So yeah, so even though her goal was supposed to be get money out of them for selling the goods, she was like she attacks this white girl. It's like white girl with yeah, you're just a white girl with too much money. Then
Mm-hmm.
obviously they don't buy her stuff and then they go away. So yeah, being setting a good example there. Then okay, here we go.
Oh yeah.
Here's the meat. Here's the meat for Norval. So Norval apparently he's so desperate to get Vilma's approval to get that $500. He's willing to sell his kidney just for it, just to get that $500 and to get a chance to date Vilma. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's such a really I don't know, such a so short-sighted, so stupid, so rash, and that's the best way I could say it. Like, why would you sell your kidney for just one date? You're willing to go that far just to
Yeah.
have one date with this girl who doesn't even like you? It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
It's like,
okay,
yeah, I'm willing to put myself in some crazy dangerous situations knowing that this girl who's the main character that you're supposed to like is because the show is called Velma. She's supposed to give you the attention because you're basically permanently maiming yourself so you can get her attention.
hmm
And and it's like it's you're trying to like improve, like you're basically trying to impress a girl who's a bitch,
yep,
and it's like there's no other word for it. It's
yeah,
and it's like she's still at this point the worst character in the show, right? She's worse than the person. She's worse than the killer that we don't even know yet. And I
yeah.
bet you, like I freaking bet you, like at the end, when you find out who the killer is, it's probably like Scooby or some shit like that. They probably kind of do some fun, some kind of like subverting of expectations, some bullshit. Oh man, I hate it. I hate this.
Yeah,
And
exactly that. Like, exactly. Couldn't have
yeah.
said it better.
So how the fuck is Daphne a drug dealer when she has such amazing lesbian detective parents? Only white people deal drugs. Me, really? Man, a lot of man, a lot of dark tanned white dudes must live in South Central. That's crazy. Why do you deal drugs, Daphne? You're an intelligent Asian woman with some disgusting yeah. Show canceled. Yeah. If you even talk shit about this, it's like, nope, you can't do it. This dude is such a pussy that he's willing to permanently disable himself for a girl that doesn't give a shit about him. I'd be willing to bet if Shaggy dies in the show, Velma wouldn't care and just be the same snarky bitch as she's always been. Yep. And she's like,
Yeah,
"Oh my god, you're dead." Sad face. All right. Anyways,
yeah.
that's how I feel.
Time to find my mom. That's
Yeah,
what
I'm gonna
she'll
find my
probably
mom.
say. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's about to go on. Then yeah, so the advice of Vilma's dad is to give Fred a better impression to the people. So he has to pretend like he's an innocent little boy. So
Hmm.
this is how they portray him again. It's another shot at Fred. So, oh, look at me, I'm so nice. I couldn't
Yeah.
have killed the two females. But then coincidentally it rains. So all of his makeup goes away. Then they make him look like Hitler. So they take a
Oh yeah.
picture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
starts
like
raining and his eyelash extensions like falls into his
well,
under his nose, and he was like this. He was like sort of raising his hand, and then they just caught him like looks like he's doing the Hail Hitler like
yeah,
pose, and
so
they're just like, oh my god, like they're basically saying white people are Nazis. That's what you're trying to
yeah,
say.
yeah. Everyone shits on Hitler. So let's make fun of him as Hitler. That they even said that. They even said that.
Yeah, it's such bad writing.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, so they stopped believing in his publicity stunt after that. So it rains exactly after he performs it. So yeah, good writing there.
Yep.
Then okay, this is the part where yeah, Datty was like, okay, you're not a good drug dealer, so I'm just gonna call it off. Then Vilma asks Daphne, why do you need all this money anyway? Yeah, here's the part that like why is she doing this even though she's already rich, or she's already a person with good esteem or good social status. So
Hmm.
apparently her reasoning why she's saving up all this money is so that she can hire an investigator. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a kick in the face to the old Scooby Doo too. It's like she wants to hire an investigator to search for her real biological parents. That's the
Hmm.
reason why she's doing it. So she's doing some dirty things to be able to track down her parents. She's doing like whatever it takes to find her supposed biological parents. That's the reason. So I was like, I was thinking like, you guys are investigators. Well, you guys used to be. You guys used to. Why don't you just do that yourselves? That would have been an interesting plot point actually. If they
Hmm.
just if they just put in the old format of Scooby Doo, and that's Daphne's story arc, like she tried to investigate, trying to track down her parents. That would have been nice. That would have been interesting for me. Instead, they went like this, like in order for her to find her biological parents, she sells drugs. Okay, yeah. Yeah, she's looking for her
Yeah,
real parents
yeah, she's looking for.
without the knowledge of her current adopted parents.
Yeah, like here's the thing: if you are wanting to know your biological parents and you are adopted, there's actually like a pretty strenuous like way for you to actually it's like the process of getting an adoption for a baby. It's like it's really hard, and the process could last up to like 2 to 3 years. So the thing is that like as people who are adopting kids, like you actually go through like a forms of like okay, who like you actually know who you're adopting from. So I'm pretty sure if Daphne was supposed to be this smart and she's supposed to be super smart or something like that, she would have known that her parents would have the actual records of who her biological parents are. So I don't know. It's sort of like it's sort of like stupid like teenager antics that like they're trying to make these characters like, oh, the reason why she's a bitch or something like that, the reason why she's the way she is because of this. I don't know. it's it's
Yeah.
it's it's busted.
Yeah, they're really building the two lesbian couple to be incompetent and really stupid and not capable of doing anything. That's probably why. Then
Mm.
yeah, the next scene is like, "Hey, freeze, we got you." Because okay, I didn't mention what they're doing. So they're going undercover. These two agents are going undercover to track down the because it kind of the school kind of suspected that there's a drug dealer inside the school. So which
Hmm.
is we know is Daphne. So they kind of traced her there. So they were pretending to be students to track down the drug dealer, which is
Yeah, they,
Daphne.
they they basically
They
tried to 21 Jump Street.
yeah. Yeah, so it's like so they don't know that this is Daphne, even though it's pretty clear. This is not really a good disguise. So they don't know it's actually that. Freeze, we got you. You're the candy man. You're the candy man. So
Mhm.
yeah, they're so stupid with their job that they couldn't even catch them. Apparently the kids are better at running away than the FBI. Uh yeah, so actually there's another scene where that dude's foot got sliced again while they were running away. The white kid whose foot got sliced. So his foot got sliced again in this episode. So it's probably gonna be a trope for every episode. His foot is gonna get sliced, and that's perfectly okay.
Mhm.
Uh, then yeah. So I kind of fast forwarded for Norville a bit. So this guy is wanted by the cops. So there's a bounty on him, but this guy ends up for some reason raiding the place where Norville was supposed to sell his kidneys. So he ended up raiding the place, and the people who were supposed to do the procedure to Norville, who's supposed to extract his kidney, they, I think they ended up running away. Because of this guy. This guy was, I don't know what he was doing there. He wanted their money, I suppose. Then Norville, so for some reason, manages to get the jump on this guy, on this criminal. It's like you're not gonna get in the way of me trying to please Velma. That's
Mhm.
literally what he says. He literally says, "No one's gonna stop me from appeasing Velma." Then that's how
Mhm.
it ends up at the scene. Then, if you guys are wondering who are these apparent hobos with guns and snacks, um, they they are uh they are followers of Norville. They're
Oh yeah.
yeah, they are avid watchers of his Twitch streams because he Twitch streams his favorite snacks. So they are his fans. So that's why she's carrying this green snack. Same with this guy. So like, yeah, don't hurt Norval because he's we're fans of him. Then yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know how this all makes sense, but that's what happens. So
Yeah,
they end up
it's stupid lazy ass writing.
yeah. So this wanted guy ends up being caught, and Norval's the apparent hero. That's about it. Okay, then yeah, okay. So oh yeah, okay. So Daphne after Daphne and Vilma run away and get away from the two police, from the two cops, Daphne does another Daphne and Vilma do another selling attempt. So it's like, okay, Vilma, now's your chance. Try
Mhm.
again. So when Vilma was about to sell, apparently the buyer is her dad. So yeah, they're both really shitty people. So when they recognize each other, it's like Vilma. Then Vilma was like, "Dad." So that yeah, of course they both got shocked because like they were gonna. Turns out that they were gonna do a drug transaction with one another.
Mhm.
Shaggy has a dedicated cult of followers with illegal
Yeah.
firearms. Yep, yep,
Yep. That's it.
that's it. I don't know the explanation, but that's just his. Then oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I kind of fast forwarded after this. So the two of them went home afterwards. They were talking. Why the hell are you selling drugs? Then Vilma was like, why are you buying drugs? So I was like, so the reason why the dad is buying drugs is because because of the epic fail with what happened to Fred. He couldn't defend Fred because he was guilty. And it's starting to look like he's guilty. So like he's like, oh shoot, I'm doing a terrible job. I wanna get a quick fix or a kick. That's why he wants to buy drugs from Vilma. Then Vilma explains to her dad like, I need $500 to be able to get the case files on mom. So that's what happens. Then fast forward. So like the dad was like, okay, I'll cut you a deal. I'll give you that $500 if you help me defend Fred. So it's like Vilma was like, of course, at first she was like, no, Fred tried to kill me and stuff like that. Or Fred is the actual murderer. He's
Mhm.
the white guy. He's the white guy murderer. I know she mentions it again. She mentions it again. She mentions it so many times. She mentions that Fred is the white guy, so he's the killer. So
Mhm.
but then she eventually agrees. She eventually agrees with the dad. So they end up in Fred's house. They both end up in Fred's house trying to build the defense case for him. So this scene is like Fred is, okay, I'm hungry. Bring me steak. Then the butler hands over the steak. Then this facial expression is like, okay, you better cut it this time. Cut the steak because I don't know how to cut the steak. So cut the steak for me. Then
Yeah.
that's the scene right now. Him cutting the steak.
Yeah,
Uh,
he basically and she basically is like, "Oh wait, the reason why it's like he can't be the killer because he doesn't even know how to use utensils."
yeah, he can't have cut the brains out because he can't even cut his own steak. That's gonna be the
Mhm.
defense in court. Uh, then okay, jump back to Norval. So like yeah, this is also really cringe. So because of that wanted criminal earlier, right? So these two were compensating him. Oh, congrats on catching the killer, even though he didn't really catch him. Congrats on catching the killer. Here's the reward money. Here's the $500. Here's the
Mhm.
$500 for catching the criminal. And Norval's was like, thanks, but I'm gonna just he returns the money after desperately trying to get the money. He returns the money to them. It's like, no thanks. I don't really want. I should get it in my own merit. It's like, what? So your own merit is like selling your own kidney parts. Apparently,
Mhm.
that's your own. That's the merit. Yeah, he returns the money because I don't know, trying to look cool, I suppose.
Yeah,
Then
it's stupid.
yeah,
It's so stupid.
yeah. Then okay, yeah, okay. This is the they're already at court trying to Velma reasons out why Fred is not the killer. It's like, look, let's serve him steak right now. Let's see that can he be the killer. So it's like it's showing him clumsily trying to cut the steak. Then everyone in the courtroom laughing at him,
Mhm.
even the judge, if I'm not mistaken. Right when the courtroom begins to be noisy, right? The judge was like supposed to smack the hammer, order,
Mhm.
order, because everyone's no. The judge is just fine with everyone in court laughing at Fred. So laughing at the white guy is fine. Because yeah, it's the white guy, so we should make fun of him. It's okay to laugh at him in court.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to make Fred even worse, so he's like,
Mhm.
so he, so of course his ego got struck a lot in that courtroom. So it's like, oh, I can't. What if I'm the killer? What if I'm actually the killer? So yeah, so Vilma's defense goes down and crumbles. It breaks down because yeah, Fred loses his shit and goes because his ego was attacked so badly. Then yeah, he goes, yeah, I could be the killer. I could be the killer. So yeah, the judge says, okay, you're the killer. You're guilty.
Yeah,
So
it's because that's how actual trials work, right? So
yeah,
like here's the thing, even in these court cases, even though if you admit to killing someone, there still has to be an investigation, right?
yeah,
Because
exactly.
you could be covering for someone or you could be lying, right? So it's like, oh, if you just come out and say, oh yeah, I actually did this, I actually did this. It's like it's like, yeah, cool, but like you're still, you're still innocent until proven guilty, so but since he's white, he's guilty until proven innocent. So it's just, you just that's the way things go, man.
Yeah.
But let's see. How shitty of a lawyer are you to when you'd ask a teenager, your teenage daughter for help? Jesus Christ, these characters writers are so incompetent. But he's a simp, but he's a simp with principles, I guess. True.
Yeah. Yeah, so Fred ends up being incarcerated later on. So okay. So when yeah, that happens, Freddy is going to jail. Then Vilma and her dad go home. Then Daphne visits Vilma and this all of a sudden just decides to give the case files for free. Then Vilma was like after that Vilma was hallucinating again.
Mhm.
Having those visions with her mom. Like yeah, it's you solving the mysteries, something like that. Then Daphne was trying to what do you call this? Trying to console her. It's like Daphne was like, okay, what do I do for you to get out of your hallucination? Then yeah, what do I do? What do I do? What can I do to save you from your hallucination? Then
You
Vilma
saw
was
some. You see this
yeah,
from a mile away.
yeah. It's like Vilma was like, I don't know, but I don't know. It's like comfort. I forgot what she says, but you know what's gonna happen? She's gonna end up kissing her. Daphne ends up kissing Vilma, and Norville watches from a distance, and oh fuck, yeah. So
Yeah.
I suppose the silver lining is he didn't sell his kidney for him to get this outfit and flowers. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that
you do feel pretty bad for him, and it's I I do feel you do feel bad for him. It's because like he went through all that shit. He could potentially would have died, but he was trying to like do all these crazy shit to trying to like impress a girl that who was never going to reciprocate any of that feelings. But I do want to show something, but let's go ahead and you could go ahead and wrap it up. Like so,
yeah,
like
yeah, yep.
I think the next one's the last panel. It's like a post credit thing. I believe.
Yeah, yeah. I actually only saw it. I didn't saw it the first time I watched. I thought it was already. By the time I saw the credits, I already offed it. I didn't actually
Okay,
see this at first.
close.
But yeah, it's only when I watched it again. Oh, there was a post credits cutscene. Sorry, post credits scene. So it's like yeah. So Fred and this wanted guy that Norville caught are in the same room. So it's like
Mhm.
yeah, it's like they're just like talking. It's like oh, double bunker, funsies, and yeah. So kind of like shitting on Fred some more. So yeah, the first two episodes were like shitting on Fred, literally shit on the white guy. That's basically it. Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's pretty much end of episode two.
Yeah,
The first
yeah.
of
It's
yeah,
and how many more episodes did you say we have to watch this shit? Like I 10,
10,
is it 10 more episodes or is it 10 episodes total?
10 episodes more, two a week.
Oh.
So we're gonna go through this for 5 more weeks, man.
Oh shit, man. This is
5 more weeks.
oh god. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. Like this like for me, like if I've ever made fun of like a cartoon for like just being shitty or something like that, like I'm sorry. And okay, I do have something that I do want to
Yeah,
share, like a
yeah.
screen
Go
share.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So the thing is that I'm not sure if this is supposed to look like him, but it looks exactly like him. I'm not sure if you noticed. Earlier in the episode when Velma goes over and I think she was trying to talk to Norville. I forgot. I don't know, but this is a scene right over here. When I saw this character who was only in the scene once, I was like, that guy looks like Shaggy.
Oh, yeah,
That looks like
yeah.
Shaggy if he grew up. He grew up and slicked his hair back just a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, I
I
did
don't know.
notice
Like,
that.
so imagine if it's like he doesn't have any like white eyes, right? It
Yeah,
looks and
yeah.
Shaggy with a beard. I don't know. When I first saw this character, like that looks like Shaggy. I don't know.
What does he do? What does he do again? I don't remember. What does
I
he do again?
he basically like she walks into the house and then he sort of like, okay, here you go, like this is my house and stuff like that. And like yeah, for like I think this is Norville's dad. And then like
Oh,
he's like, oh, I'm
really?
here to talk to Norville or something like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
like and I think both detective and then like his mom shows up, and that's the only time we ever see him. Like because that I was like that looks like Shaggy. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to put in these Easter eggs things, but it's just like it's like, oh look, that person that sort of looks like Shaggy or something like that. I don't know. It's pretty god awful. And I what's it called again? Uh I believe there is something that my friend sent me that he wants me to take a look at, and it's basically like a director talking about what's it called again, or a producer that's in the industry talks about the show. And let's see right here. Yes, it's from Call Me Chato. So it's so it's about a 9-minute video. So let's go ahead and talk about like sort of see what this guy has to say. But yeah, um this is the wallpaper that, or so who's a discount Shaggy? Probably. So here it is. So oh yeah, this one right here. Yeah, it's a series meddling and stuff like that. And so let's go ahead and take a look at this video.
Okay.
Hello, denizens
Oh
of
shit, where's the audio? Give me the audio. Unmute. There it is.
the internet. You all know that your former network executive only deals in weighty and important matters, which is why I'm reviewing HBO Max's Velma. And by reviewing, I'm more interested in the hows and whys of how a show like this came to be. I'll let others do the actual show reviews. That's not to say I won't toss in the odd observation, and this show was definitely odd. I was never a fan of the original Scooby-Doo cartoons, but because my wife, my daughter, and my son all were, I was forced to watch endless episodes of Scooby and the gang running down endless hallways, finding secret passages, and solving mysteries which usually involved someone in a rubber mask. It did not take a PhD to understand the charm and popularity of Scooby-Doo, though I'm sure Oberlin College, along with teaching a course on feminist glaciation, also must have one on intersectional Scooby-Doo, where the writers of this show, I'm certain, graduated from. So what's the deal with this thing? Right from the initial trailer, people were commenting on the race swapping and gay attraction of Velma. As a former network executive, I'm just grasping for any success I can. Do I understand young people? Nope. Could this have been a success? Sure. You never know until the show airs. We don't have HBO Max's numbers because it just came out, but based on Rotten Tomato scores, there isn't a lot of love for this show from critics or normies. This means I unleash one of a network executive's greatest skills, finding someone to blame the failure on.
So before he continues, the thing is, I want to know what kind of like what position he had, and I wonder if he's actually going to talk about it, like sort of like, oh, this is what I used to do, or this since he it looks like he used to work or he is working in the industry. So I hope they do actually talk more about, like, well, at least he says like where he works or something like that. But hopefully he says it later on. But let's continue.
Anyway, the show exploits a tiresomely common theme these days. Slap on an existing brand on something, even though it has almost nothing to do with it. Case in point was Disney's National Treasure, Edge of History, and Netflix's Witcher, Blood Origin, neither of which had anything to do with their progenitors. You could even say the same for Rings of Power, but I don't want to go there right now. We're all too depressed about that. And even though Velma has someone who looks like Velma, Daphne and Fred, and a total substitute for Shaggy in Norbert, and no Scooby-Doo in sight, it's not Scooby-Doo. Unless things change around in upcoming episodes or HBO Max's numbers are diametrically opposed to what people are saying online, this does not look to be the success HBO Max was hoping for. Let me say, with the benefit of hindsight, I really don't like this show at all. It's a hateful, scabby package that looks like it was written by the She-Hulk writers. If this pitch had landed
Oh my god, I can see it. It's I would say it's maybe around it could be the same people in the same group that sort
Group.
of wrote
Group.
the show. It's because it seems like, yeah, they're basically bashing on the fans, and take that, internet trolls, it's just like, uh Mindy Kaling, creator of Velma, executive producer, claps back at angry trolls online, and why this when the show sucks and why it's a good thing. It's gonna be some bullshit like that, man.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
this guy hit it on the nail for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and this, considering he already admitted, I am not a fan of the old shows, but I do see the charm in it. So if you think of it that way, he has a more objective view than the two of us, because
Mhm.
we like the Scooby, and he doesn't, and he's still shooting at this show.
Yeah, absolutely, you're right.
On my desk as a not very creative network executive, which most of us aren't, my first question would be, why isn't this Scooby-Doo? You see, sometimes being creatively bereft has its advantages. I would know that it's a well-loved cartoon with a huge built-in audience, including a couple of very successful live-action movies. The 2002 movie cost $84 million to shoot and made nearly $300 million. I would really want to know why the cast of Velma was so unlikable. Velma was mean and suffering from hallucinations. Daphne was a drug dealer. Fred was so pathetic that he was unbearable. And Shaggy had become Norbert, a sad sack, lovesick wanker. I honestly wouldn't have been worried about the race swapping. I would have been concerned about not having a Scooby, but I would accept it if they got all the other pieces right, but they hadn't. The original gang was joyful, cheerful, and they supported each other. This group was nasty or stupid or ineffectual with nothing connecting them except Daphne and Velma, who realized they were same-sex attracted, and they made a big frickin' deal about that.
Yeah, so I 100% echo this guy's sentiment in terms of like when they were solving their mysteries and like going around like doing their hijinks and stuff like that. They're all very supportive of one another. They're
Yeah,
always like
yeah,
they're a group, they're strong, ape together strong and that kind of stuff. And it's like
yeah.
they back each other. And this one is just there seems like, oh, we gotta put tension in there when there shouldn't be tension, right? Or maybe this is like the beginning of how they form their sort of mystery machine gang. And I 100% guarantee you Velma is going to be like the leader type and Fred's going to be sort of like the wannabe leader, but he's not a leader because he's stupid. And that's exactly what, maybe this is like an origin story to Velma. I don't know. It could be an origin story. But the thing is that Shaggy and Scooby are like it's Shaggy's dog is Scooby. And so like they've known each other for a long time. Maybe they haven't introduced him, but the things that I don't think they are is because this show is just all about Velma, and it's all about her just being a nasty person that hates everyone other than herself. And it's the thing that's what there's no charm here. It's just hateful bashing is because I don't like what's happening in just Hollywood's too white. There's too many white people here, so we got to make fun of them. So I can't outright come out and say that I hate white people, because if I do, I'll be another Brie Larson, and I can't do that. So I have to do it in in a TV show instead. I don't know. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I also wanted to say that, yeah, we didn't mention that. Like, instead of supporting each other, which they definitely did in the cartoons, it's like they're attacking each other. They're being shit to each other, which is so, I don't know, it's not right. It feels so badly done and badly written. I mean, if they wrote it in such a way that it's convincing, which they didn't, it might have been better received. But no, it's like it's just shitting each other for the sake of shitting each other. Kind of like attacking the whites for the sake of attacking the whites.
Yeah. Like, I don't think I have the insane levels of hatred that Hollywood has. Like, if I was given the opportunity to make a show based off of the Care Bears or something, I'd at least try to do my best. Exactly. All right, let's continue this.
Even though I might not have understood what were claimed to be jokes and humor in the script, I would know that this show would turn off existing fans. Students getting their legs cut off in a bloody mess with a flying paper cutter. Lesbian cops kneecapping Fred with their guns. Velma's very unfunny family situation. And that would be my question. Why do you want to piss off existing fans? I'm sure the answer at the pitch session was, we're looking to make it for a modern audience, which is the dumbest thing any creative person could say.
Yep.
A brand has a built-in audience, but here's a secret. It also has a built-in audience that doesn't like the property. That is actually part of the brand. So for all you budding network executives, here's your test. Which group requires the least amount of convincing to watch your show? The group that loves the brand or the group that thinks it's childish, stupid, and vowed never to watch it? Do you need some time to think about it? Of course not. And that mysteriously massive audience that has never heard of the property, how do you plan on reaching them? I would definitely have asked producer Mindy Kaling where this mysteriously massive audience was and how did she intend to capture them. In fact, that was a question I regularly asked producers who pitched shows they claimed would turn the world upside down. Dear God, you don't have to be a slave to the original. Just look at what they did with the 1993 Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. It was different, but it was also faithful to the tone of the source material.
Did you watch Mask of the Phantasm?
No, but I probably I should probably look into the Batman animated films.
Yeah,
that's something I don't have that much exposure to.
So the thing is that I'm a big fan of the what's it called again? The Bruce Timm 90s, early 90s Batman animated series. It's probably the best animated and accurate portrayals of Batman ever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's like hands down. There's nothing out there that's better.
Yeah.
But the thing is that thank you.
You lost your audio.
All right, cool. Sorry about that. But yeah, the thing is that Mask of the Phantasm. So the thing, I didn't watch Mask of the Phantasm when it came out. I watched Mask of the Phantasm probably a year or two ago. It's pretty long. It's like, I think it's about an hour and a half. I believe it's an hour and a half, but it's different. It shows a different side of Batman, but the tone and it's like he said, it's still very faithful to the animated TV show. When you watch it, it doesn't seem like, oh, this is not the Batman from the TV show. This is not the same character. It's exactly the same character. And like of course this is go above like them having like the same voice actors, right? Like you have Rip Kevin Conroy. It's still very, very faithful, and it's like, damn, this is good. And you're not shitting on your fans or anything like that, or you're making Batman's like all of a sudden Batman's wearing a funny hat is because he's in this movie or something like that. And it's really good. If you haven't had the chance, like, I would definitely watch it. There are a ton of very, very good episodes, and if you watch it, like, damn, this is so good. Like if like give it a shot.
Yeah.
Mask of the Phantasm is ironically the best Batman film ever released in theaters. Yes, it's really good. It's really good.
Alex from Angry Joe Show also said like his most favorite Batman animated series is that one, the one you mentioned. So coming from him, because he's very strict with his evals, that's high praise. That's really high praise.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let's continue.
Velma, at its core, is totally unfaithful to the Scooby-Doo source material. Sure, Ray swapped the crew, give Velma a little bit of South Asian spice, make Norbert a homeboy, have Daphne Chinese, but don't punish Fred for being white and the leader of the old cartoons.
Yep.
Boy, they really had it in for Fred. I'm sure they were howling in the writer's room. What I'm saying is find a way to keep the old camaraderie and respect along with the casting twist. You don't need anything more to freshen it up, especially the disturbing sexualization. I'm really not understanding the modern Hollywood experiment in pissing off the existing fan bases for popular properties. No executive in my time would dare to make a decision that potentially loses an audience. I don't get it. And that's all I'm going to say about the show. I'm not going to give you a blow by blow because it's a confusing mess that lacks heart and soul. It's a mean show, and it could keep the cartoon family nudity and the brainless murders, but you want the spirit of the old team, and you want them to be supportive with each other. Would I have greenlit this show based on the script of these first 2 episodes? No. Maybe I should make a regular feature. Would I have greenlit or not? What do you think, denizens? But what about the crazies who did greenlight this show? What did they see in the pitch? First of all, they saw diversity, inclusivity, and equity. Secondly, they saw edgy and violent, and they might have thought, yeah, that's what kids these days want, bloody cartoon characters. I'm fairly certain they had zero appreciation of the original. But as I said, Scooby-Doo does not have a lot of depth. It's really stupid. But even though I was forced to watch it, I had fun doing so. I did not have fun watching Velma. Till next time, denizens, be seeing you.
Man, he did an amazing, quick, to the point, and of course not as in as blow by blow like how he said it, but it's a very mean show. And the thing is that like I mentioned earlier, and I believe someone in the chat mentioned, I think it was Running with Scissors, saying that we have no issue you race swapping the characters. To be honest, I don't care if you race swapped any of the characters. Okay, you can make you can do whatever you want. Like same thing with the whole Little Mermaid thing. I don't really care. Just keep it faithful to the original, and that's fine. And I think that's where a lot of people, like going back to Henry Cavill with the whole Man of Steel with Zack Snyder. It wasn't faithful to the original character. I think that's what drove off a lot of the original existing fans of Superman. Right? I have a friend of mine. He's working at his name's Jeff Victor. He's actually he's working at Funko Pop now as a character designer.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And he his favorite superhero is Superman. And I remember in 2010, 2011, around the time when Superman came out, Man of Steel. For me, I loved it. It's because I love the action. I love the music.
Yeah,
And I
was
love
really
how
good.
it's shot. Right.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 things I really loved. And then I showed it to my my senior artist at that time, Ivan, and he loved it too. And then I was like, cool, let's go ask Jeff because he's the biggest Superman fan that we know. And he said, I fucking hated the movie. And we asked him why. He said that this is not Superman.
Yeah.
Superman is kind-hearted. He is very friendly. He's not, and the film it made him like too dark. He's such a dark character. And he said it's shot beautifully, like it's like the music is good, but it's not the Superman I grew up with, because his favorite Superman is Christopher Reeves. And even he reads the comics, he's like, that's Superman. And even though me and him don't agree whether or not, like, I think the movie's good, he thinks it's not, I agree where he's coming from because he's an OG fan. And for me, I love Superman. The Superman I grew up with was, even though I watched the early Superman that's from like the 70s, I believe, like the OG ones, I did watch the one that I actually grew up with was Batman Superman. I used to wake up, watch it on WB Kids on Saturday, and during the weekday I will watch Batman Superman. and then I will watch Justice League, right? The cartoon, and then Justice League Unlimited, and Superman. And just thinking back, retrospectively, like he is very positive. He's a very positive character because he is the embodiment of the American, what truth, justice, and an American way, right? And he's very friendly and stuff like that because he knows he can kill everyone on Earth if he wanted to, but he has to be he has to be that nice person, and it's just and he grew up in on being taught to be a nice person, and when we saw Zack Snyder's vision of Superman, he's like, why is he so dark? Why is it so it's so grim? He's not the Superman that we remember.
Yeah, for sure.
And with Velma, it's like this is not any of the characters that we knew. Velma is supposed to be like Jinkies. It's like she has never once says, at least from what I remember, Jinkies in the show. I saw it in the trailer. I don't remember seeing it in the show, right? And the thing is that you're shitting on Fred, who's like he said, the leader of the group, and it's just why would you do that?
Yeah, I imagine they're gonna shit on the Jinkies phrase when they band together. I imagine that's where they're gonna attack it. That's what I think.
So, Deadlight said, let's see, hold on. So this is an earlier one. I love to see you guys do a review of classic animated shows and movies like Batman, Superman, the animated series, Justice League, Spectacular Spider-Man, etc. Yeah,
that's actually a really good idea. It's like I never thought of it until he mentioned it. Actually, it's like it's more on brand on what we do here. It's like compared to the anime stuff I'm doing. I think I'm gonna just pivot to that instead. I'm gonna look into that rather than trying to put anime stuff here.
Yeah,
honestly, that's what I'm thinking right now.
So he said, I don't like race swapping. I grew up as a fat Mexican kid and I didn't give a shit if the characters I watched were white, black, male, or female. I just wanted good characters. Exactly. Right. Two of my favorite comic book characters are Captain America and Spider-Man. The two people I don't look anything like, but I identify with their morals and struggles. Yeah, I don't get fans of the Snyderverse and Superman. Superman is a Boy Scout who we all aspire to be, and now he's all edgy and dark like Batman. They failed to capture the character. The final fight in Man of Steel should have been the final fight of the third film in a trilogy where Superman fights Doomsdays and dies at the end. It was just too much, way too fast. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole Snyder thing. They're just trying to play catch up, and it's just it's a bit of them in the ass. Like we have some good bangers from DC, and then most of them were actually shit.
Yeah.
As much as Grae and I shit on what happened with what's happening with DC, I do hope they make good stuff.
I hope.
Yeah, go ahead.
I hope the reboot is worth it. Like it's properly executed, even though for now it's not looking kind of rosy or optimistic, given Ezra Miller's still there. But I really, really think that the reason why they're keeping him around is until the Flash movie comes out. That's my assumption. Then then they kicked everyone wanted Henry to be back as Superman, but they decided not to push through with that. So
I like as well, like I said, like as much as we shit on it, like we want good stuff, right? So hopefully James Gunn, like the stuff that he comes out with it's bright, it's hopeful, and it's something that we remember as a kid. It's like, oh yeah, this is Superman I remember. Yeah, this is my Superman. Yeah, honestly, Superman should have been like MCU's Captain America. He had morals and a Boy Scout, but he had to clash with modern era's ideals. Yeah, true.
Yeah, the two you mentioned last week that you didn't like the part in Man of Steel where Superman ended up killing Zod. You think he should have? Then I suddenly remembered too that Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers said the same thing, but from another scene. He made a really valid point why he doesn't like Man of Steel too, because he should have saved his dad.
Yes, absolutely.
He should have saved. Yeah, it's like
Kevin Costner. He's like, don't.
Yeah.
Tornado.
Let the tornado kill me. Then it's like Ryan was like, the justification was like he wanted to conceal his powers, but Jeremy was right. It's like, no, the real Superman would have saved him. No questions asked. But that was a really, really good point.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and segue on to this article that I actually want to read. And I think it's two articles. But here's the first one. So I believe this came out today actually. Marvel's visual effects talent pool is dwindling as artists avoid working with the studio. Interviews with multiple VFX artists in the industry insiders reveal Marvel's poor pay rates and intense conditions for special effects workers. Yeah, as we can tell, especially with a lot of especially 100% with She-Hulk. Like we
She-Hulk.
know that like they are literally like rushing all these shit out, and you can tell they're not paying their VFX artists enough. Marvel Studios, known for its VFX heavy spectacles, is losing talent as VFX workers lose patience with studios behind the scenes treatment. Vulture interviewed several VFX workers about their experience, many of whom told stories about refusing to sign new contracts with Marvel after working on recent films or Disney Plus shows, such as visual effects technicians Mark Patch, who was hired to work on an upcoming Marvel project he's not allowed to disclose. While a typical sci-fi movie usually contains around 1,600 VFX shots, Marvel Studios wanted a 10-hour show to have over 3,000 feature quality shots in a shorter timeline, according to Patch. This would mean 3 straight months of 18-hour workdays without any days off. So here's the thing. Disney is hemorrhaging money. So they're like, we need to make as much shows as possible. We need to make as much movies as possible and stuff like that. And I can see, I did not see Quantum Mania's trailer. However, I did see MODOK's face. And that thing is everywhere. And for me, I'm like, yeah, how are they going to do that if they are going to bring it? But that thing looks awful. And isn't there like did you watch Thor Love and Thunder?
No, I did not.
Should I? They got like, okay, I didn't watch it, but they got nominated for like best VFX for like in the Golden Globes or something like that, or an Oscar.
Oh, really?
What they got. Yeah, but there was a scene in there with like this like floating black kid's head, and it was like, this thing looks like you freaking just slapped it on without like putting anything in there. You look, so I can tell that like their VFX is not great. I think they're getting a little lazy is because they know they can. They know that they can get away with it.
Before our podcast, I was watching a video exactly this art. I don't know if you follow Yellow Flash, but he also talks about stuff like this. Like,
oh, I do.
Yeah. He took on this topic too. He made a video about it. I think they were working like 18-hour days, 7 days a week, for a very, very low rate. I don't remember the rate, but it's pretty low. It's like it even got to the point that Marvel was asking the artist, so do you want to work for us for the next project? The artist simply just said no. Literally, that's all he said. No. Like they're losing artists for sure. It's like they're not being compensated properly. They're not being treated right. So yeah, it's not really a surprise that this is happening.
Yeah, it sucks. Let's see. Patch explained he left the contract after learning this. They said, okay, well, do you want a job on our next show? Yeah. So I think
there we go. Yeah.
Yeah. And I said no. Yeah. The owner of the VFX company, who wished to remain anonymous, also stated that he's consistently turning down Marvel because they're impossible demands. On top of this, Marvel Studios pays 20% below the industry standard. This eventually led to multiple VFX workers turning down Marvel projects after a Slack channel where the workers shared their yearly salaries from different studios circulated among the industry. Marvel execs and producers reportedly sent emails questioning on how they could stop workers from discussing pay rates, although Marvel Studios has declined to comment on any of these claims. Now, as a person who works in the video game industry, I can give you some insight on this. A lot of companies, this is true. A lot of companies do not want you to share salaries. It's because if you do, then you can ask, hey, this person is doing the exact same work as I do. Why am I getting paid less? Because this happened to me. So I know this issue. And that's the reason why I told this to my art director and they had to promote me and give me a raise. Is because I was getting $20,000 less, but doing the same job.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah, so
that's a lot.
I do know how much VFX artists makes, and the crappy thing is that VFX artists are needed in the games industry and movie industry. They are highly sought after, and they are few and far between. VFX artists and technical artists, those are the terms. And the VFX artists, I'm not sure in my company exactly how much. I do know the ballpark. They make anywhere between $100,000 to $115,000 a year. So if the Marvel is getting paid, they're paying their artists 20% for doing more, and you're doing stuff for like. And the thing is that we work for a Marvel company. We work for a Marvel project. I don't work for Marvel. I work for a Marvel project. So we're considered like outsourcing, right? We're considered like the production company or something like that. And so the thing is that if they're working 18-hour days and 20%, so that means that they're getting paid like below entry level pay for that kind of work. Too. And it definitely sucks a lot. And it's and the thing is that we our company the company I work for, they don't like people crunching. So because we've done it before, and working over, people sleeping under their desks and stuff like that. That's like one thing that like our company is like, no crunching, and like do not do any of that, and like let us know if we're putting too much work on you guys. Like, please let us know. But the thing is that what Marvel can do, and this sucks a lot, is they can get a lot of people. They can hire a bunch of people that just got out of college, and the thing is that they know that they can. It's like, hey, you're working for Marvel. You're working for Marvel. That looked really, really good on your resume.
That's how they reel you in.
Yeah. So just like, hey, we're gonna pay you this much, but in turn, you're gonna work this much. And those people who get out of college, who just got out of college, they're gonna say yes.
Yes.
But the thing is that you have to hire more of them, is because those people that are coming out of college, they're not seasoned, and you're not sure if the work that you're getting from them is going to be good enough. But you need to hire more of them, is because the thing is that you if you're having movies, we're announcing phase 5, phase 6, phase 7, all these shit that's going to be coming out. Like you're going to have to reach those deadlines, and the fact that you're doing TV shows and movies now, it's going to be even. You're going to burn them out. And that's the reason why, like, there are going to be people who are going to go on strike, and can you blame Marvel for it? Absolutely. It's because it's the deadlines are freaking like unreasonable. Mm-hmm. What Marvel and Disney needs to do is slow down and focus on making fewer but better films and series that will make more money in the long term, rather than flooding out the market with trash. Yeah, the thing is that we, like I mentioned earlier in the last podcast, like, superhero fatigue, man. It's like no one cares anymore. No one cares anymore.
Yeah, in my opinion, they should have stopped the cinematic universe thing when Endgame ended. Like, they should, in my opinion, they should have focused on the heroes in their standalone stories just in their standalone stories. Like, there's no need for the big interconnected thing. Like, just fully flesh out their individual stories. Nobody really gives a crap about the cinematic universe anymore. At least that's my opinion. That should have stopped in Endgame already. Like, all these big heroes united to fight a huge, humongous evil. Then that's it. That should have ended there. No more interconnectedness in the succeeding shows to build out this new cast of heroes. At least that's what I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not superhero fatigue. It's just the quality has gotten worse, and therefore nobody cares. Yeah, that could be true too. I don't know. Like, the thing is that I see superhero stuff like every single day, like when I work. So I'm just like, okay, yeah, I know who's coming to the MCU and stuff like that. But this is not the first time Marvel Studios has been accused for poor treatment of VFX workers. Last year, VFX artist Drew Golville made a public statement about his decision to leave industry altogether after working on films like Guardians of the Galaxy and Spider-Man: Homecoming. He called Marvel a poor client, and said he witnessed several of his colleagues break down after being overworked with the studio. The studios tightens their purse strings. Another report from around the same time claimed that Avengers Endgame VFX artists weren't told that the movie's release was moved to an earlier date. In response to the backlash, Marvel Studios is potentially considering its own in-house VFX studio. MCU projects often include work from several different VFX companies like Weta and Framestore, alongside freelance workers. An in-house special effects artist department would end that without addressing what caused a backlash in the first place. Yeah, so a lot of these places, they don't do a lot of in-house stuff. They outsource a lot of things. Like if you actually sit down and like look at the credits, like you see like visual effects, like the third floor, like Weta, like every company uses Weta, every company uses ILM. So it's just like it's you see all these people who are outsourced, and the thing is that like these companies like, hey, we need this now, and
Yeah,
the thing is
I
that
think it's the same for video games. It's the same thing
Yeah.
for video games.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it definitely sucks, and I think the last like and I think that's the reason why I prefer. I know it might cost a little bit more, but I prefer half actual visual effects and half actual like effects that's used for the actual I forgot the term already, but the actual practical effects. I like a mixture of both, right? And that's the reason why like we talked about it last week. Mad Max Fear, like that one like is a little bit of both, and
Oh yeah,
you can
you
use
mentioned last week.
that and it'll look pretty cool. All right, so this is another article that came out earlier this week, and I talked about this before, and we talked about this before, but so I don't know how to say this guy's last name. Kumail Nanjiani was told that Hollywood doesn't want non-white actors as villains. So you know how we was talking about the white guy is the bad guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now he's like, hey, why don't you want like Indians or black people or Asian people or Chinese people or any other race other than white people to play? Like the thing is that you have to have the straight white guy to be the bad guy. And now they're complaining about it. It's like, dude, what? Like, we gave you what you want, and now you're fucking complaining about it? Are you freaking serious? Oh man, it sucks. I have to head out, but it's fun hearing you two rant about HBO shit. Take care, you two. Yo, have a good day.
See you,
Have a
Deadlight.
good day. Yeah, thank you for stopping by. All right. Hollywood has been aiming to create more diverse landscape for people of color, according to Kumail Nanjiani. However, Hollywood still has limits for what roles they can play. Specifically, Kumail Nanjiani claims that Hollywood doesn't want non-white actors to play villains. He revealed as much as while speaking with Esquire UK, Nanjiani was promoting his new limited series, Welcome to Chippendales, when the discussion about non-white actors came up. Here's what he said. I think that Hollywood now, even though they're trying to make to be more diverse, is still weird, he stated. Additionally, Nanjiani claims that good intentions can sometimes lead to misguided solutions. If the bad guy is a brown guy, what message is that sending? He also iterates that he wants to play more villain roles, but it's difficult for him to get parts. So here's the thing. Nanjiani is his voice is relatively high, right? He's sort of like his voice is a little bit more like high pitched. So the thing is that if you want a villain that looks more threatening, would you hire a person that has a higher pitched voice or a lower pitched voice?
Lower.
It's just yeah. So
Lower.
and that's the reason why when they hired that one dude to play Jafar in the live action Aladdin, his voice is like this. He talks like this. It's like, you are not threatening, man. you're not scary. That's just as limiting as anything else. Then Jenny says, I want to play more bad guys. As a comparison, he mentions actor Sebastian Stan, who many fans will recognize him as Winter Soldier from the MCU. More recently, however, he played a cannibal in last year's horror film Fresh. He does these big Marvel movies, and then he'll play a psychopath. He says, I was told that's going to be hard because people don't want to cast non-white people as bad guys. I think there's two things. I think they either don't want to cast people, or just you are not threatening. That's it.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be like lowering your voice? Like if you're gonna be
Yeah.
a bad guy, like imagine if you're playing Smaug in The Hobbit, instead of sounding like your voice is very deep like Benedict Cumberbatch, you're like, give me back. Give me back the treasure, a dwarf. Give it to me now. It's just like you're not gonna be threatening at all. Look, it sucks, but the thing is that I'm not gonna hire like I'm gonna hire a person to play the part is because I know they're good at the part, not just because you are brown,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like
It,
if
it's
I'm
a
gonna
it's a
hire like yeah, go ahead.
it's a
Sorry.
it's a matter of competency and compatibility. Like
Mhm.
it's in this article, it's making it out to be it's because of the race, because of the color, because of the sex. No, it's exactly what you said. It needs to fit for it to give the right impression to the audience.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like if I was like a film producer or director or something like that, and I'm looking to hire a person, I I need a blonde white guy is because he's gonna be like this family, and then this brown guy comes in, or a black guy comes in, or Asian guy comes in. He's like, oh, I want that part. Can I need to audition? Is yeah, but this story is actually meant to for a white guy to be played. Well, why can't I play it? It's like because, dude, this is meant for this person to play it. Like sometimes there's actors or writers or screenplays, like they whenever they cast or write someone, they already have a person in mind. It's like, oh, we know this. We're writing this. We're writing this character for Ryan Reynolds. We're writing this character for Chris Pratt or something like that. It's for that character, right? So maybe this fresh thing, the horror film, they wrote it for Sebastian Stan, is because he looks like when he was playing Winter Soldier, when he was in Mind Control, we really like that look. So this one was for him. You got to see it that way too. And Nanjiani has been in the entertainment business for such a long time. He should know this. Yeah. Interestingly, we have seen backlash since the exact reasons in recent times. For example, the hit Netflix series Wednesday received backlash for having cast a black actress Joy Sunday as a bully. Did you watch Wednesday?
No, I
Okay.
wasn't able.
So I believe I mentioned this. I'm not sure if I did, but the thing is that she was a bully, but she becomes a good guy at the end. Like she's actually, like, if you actually watch the entire thing, yeah, people were actually like, "Oh my god, why is she a black? Why are all the black people like actual bad guys?" Like, well, it's clearly you didn't watch the show. You watched like the first episode. It's like, oh, I'm gonna write all these crazy thing on like Hollywood Reporter now. It's like, no, it's like you need to watch the entire show. You need to know why they're doing what they're doing. Maybe there's a reason. Although the character eventually comes around, like over there, some viewers are still disappointed that she started out as mean. As Hollywood continues to carve out more diverse landscape for people of color, we will likely continue to have these conversations. But one thing is for certain, Hollywood shouldn't be limiting on these growths regardless, especially if an actor like Kumail Nanjiani wants to be able to play as villains just like anyone else. Fans are currently see Kumail Nanjiani Hulu series Welcome to the Chippendale. So here's the thing. If you want to be the bad guy, right? Why don't you go the way of Jordan Peele? He became like a director, a writer, and then he wrote and all the characters that he's writing for now, because he's like, oh, I want the main characters to be black. I want like the main characters will never be white. That's what he said, right? The main characters will be black because I want to see more black movies. There you go. Why don't you just start your own production company and then hire yourself, cast yourself as a bad guy, and hire a bunch of people that you want to play these characters, right? The thing is that, like, if you don't want to do that, the thing is that you have to see if you fit the role or not. You're an actor. You should know this, and it's just you can't be woke and just, oh, we need more diversity. Wait, why aren't they casting me? But he's a white guy, so he has to be the bad guy. But I want to be the bad guy. But but if we cast a white guy as a bad guy, then that here's a very good example. You have two guys holding guns pointing at each other. Mm-hmm. A white guy and a white guy. Why aren't any black guys in this? All right, switch one guy for the black, one white guy for a black guy. Why is there a white guy pointing a gun at the black guy? Two black guys. Why are always the black guys be the bad guys? You can't have it your way. You can never make anyone happy. So
Yep.
that's how I
Yeah.
see it in this. And the thing is that what he's complaining is just like, dude, no one's gonna be happy.
Yeah.
If you want something, it's how do you
Yeah,
feel about
yeah.
that?
It's exactly it's the point of Jeremy. Also, again, I'm going back to Jeremy in Geeks Gamers. Like, you can never please these people. It's like there's always something that will trigger them. There's always something that they will get mad about, no matter how much times you adjust or try to pander to them. Which I think, yeah, which drives the point that these things are starting to permeate. Like, you want to eliminate the white guy completely now, not just the white guy being the bad guy. So yeah, it's yeah. I think you got it on point. I don't think I can say it any better myself.
Is it bad for characters of color to be dynamic? No. I think it's just I think any bad character could characters of color could be dynamic. It's just the thing is that if you want like a crazy like villain, like well, let's say he wanted to play that psychopath that was a cannibal. What's more like what's more scary? A guy who like turns around and he has like a what do you want? Or turns around and goes, what do you want? It's sort of you know what type of creep factor is it? Like so, unless they modify your voice, like it sucks that you don't have the voice for it because you have a higher tone in your voice, so you can't play those creepy, like scary, scathing characters. Like you want to play like Hannibal Lecter or something like that. Like imagine replacing Nanjani, putting him in Silence of the Lamb, like instead of Anthony Hopkins. Forgot his name already. It's not Anthony Hopkins, but I forgot that just the guy who plays him, right? So, oh man, it's just that there's a lot, and the thing is that I'm not looking forward to watching another episode of Velma. Not. Sorry, I'm asking because people were angry that Wednesday's bully was of color. Who cares? Who cares? Like she did a good job. She was badass. Like I liked her character. Like she and at the end she comes around. She's a good guy and stuff like that. Who?
Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with people being flawed at the start? I mean, aren't we all? Weren't we a worse person before? Generally speaking, then we realized one way or another that, oh, we were wrong. Oh, I could have done this better. So it's kind of like a journey for us to get better, to be better, to treat people better. So I don't. It's called character development. Like it wouldn't. I mean, they could have written it in such a way that this person is badass. This person is really really good. This person is perfect. You can do that beginning to end, story from start to finish. But is that something fun to watch? Is that something interesting to watch? Isn't it better like if this person was like really kind of an asshole at the start, kind of really flawed at the beginning, but as the journey goes along, they slowly and grow, become a better person. I think that's far more interesting than being a bona fide badass from beginning until end.
Yeah, that'll make you a Mary Sue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, we went over a lot today, and but I think I'm definitely looking forward to The Last of Us.
Yeah.
I believe it's next Friday.
If it's
Saturday?
January 25, it's still gonna be the week after.
Oh, okay.
So-
So Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. Okay. So
Yeah,
soon. All right, cool. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Mhm.
Man, it's good catching up. The fact that drunk 3PO was
3PO was here.
was here earlier is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's pretty, yeah, like he followed me on Twitter. He's like, hey, I follow you on Twitter. Just make sure if you guys actually went to look at the chat and I clicked on him, it's like go to the channel. I was like, oh shit, it's him. So which is
Yeah.
actually pretty cool. He said that he was our 80th subscriber. I don't actually see it in our analytics. I don't actually see his name, but
Yeah, there's something up with YouTube analytics. It's not showing the subscribers who are also channels. It used to be you could see it. You could see who's following it and if they have their own channel or not.
yeah, but that's pretty cool. So hopefully, what's it called again? Like we we reach out like and we'll do more content and stuff like that. And it's cool the
Yeah.
fact like he was actually like, oh, I subscribed to you, and
Yeah.
you know, like did you guys just start and stuff like that. But that's pretty cool. But yeah, man. Yeah, you want to shout out anything, or like I did. You did mention that you were gonna start doing like more like anime stuff on a different channel or something.
Oh, no, yeah. It was just Deadlight suggestions. Like, it's more on brand if yeah, because I'm not really focused on the other channels for the moment, so I'm more focused here actually. Well, yeah, my other channel, it's Japanese role playing games, which is really far off, which is why I'm not really putting it here.
Okay.
But yeah, he has a really good point. I think it would be better if I cover like the Batman, the animated series stuff, like or Justice League here, rather than anime. It's more on point with what we're covering because like our movies are like DC superheroes and other Western culture stuff. So it would make more sense if I'll look into this. I'll definitely look into this.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, what I have to say is yeah, stay tuned for more content here in Project Eggroll.
Sweet. And you guys can follow me at Mr. Phillip Chan, and I'm also on Twitter as well. But yeah, if you guys haven't already done so, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe and stuff like that. Hit the notification bell. I will go ahead and make these into little segments, bite-sized segments, so you guys can watch during the week. So it's not 3 hours worth of content.
Yeah.
But again, thank you everyone for hanging out for this long. We will be back next weekend. Hopefully there are more stuff to talk about, and yes, we're probably going to watch 2 more episodes of Velma, and I'm going to continue on the rant. But yeah, thank you everyone for hanging out for this long, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.